Good evening, Soul Tribe. Welcome. It's so good to see everybody. I cannot wait to get this show started. But before we get started, let me just give you a little treat this evening. Watch as you come on in the room and get your pens and pad together and your questions because we got a juicy discussion tonight. Come on in the room, family. Let us know who you are and where.
Dr. Kia Pre, shining wisdom's light, teaching soul tribe how to see through the night. Ancient scriptures and bloodlines she knows, spreading truth wherever she goes. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Through her channel, knowledge flows, breaking chains that hold us close, teaching paths to abundance and wealth, guiding others to free themselves. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. From currencies to investments divine, she's helping her tribe to realign with wisdom, ancient and new, showing what we all can do. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia lights the way to a new and brighter day.
Right, Soul Tribe. Come on in the room, family. Welcome. Greetings. Good evening. I see so many of you in the room. Come on in the room, family. Check in. Let us know where you're hailing from. We got a great show tonight. In fact, it might get a little bit juicy. So put your children to bed, family. Get a glass of wine, a glass of water. Get you something nice to drink. Bring your notepad and your ink pen because we have tonight two amazing chiefs to come on to talk to us about what happens when the divine feminine and the divine masculine come together. and sacred union. We're going to bring to the show today none other than one of your favorite, if not your all time favorite chiefs, Chief Pontiac Rod Hayes. He's going to come on tonight with my special co host, Chief Blackhawk, also known as the Young Elder. So, family, sit back, make sure the children are in bed. We're going to talk about a little sexual healing when I get that feeling. All right. And what happens when you get that healing that you need? So before we go on, let's introduce first our co host, Chief. Who is that? Chief of Black Hawk, the Young Elder. And he's going to introduce Chief Rod Hayes. Hey, Young Elder, how are you?
I'm doing good. Peace and love to the tribe. Peace and love to the tribe.
Peace and love. It's good to have you here. Welcome. I'm so excited tonight. So,
We also got Chief Poniac on with us, Rod Hayes,
all
Skype
right.
8 at the North Gate. When we knock, you better bump straight. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. Yes, yes. Hey, Chief.
Yeah. How y'all doing?
Doing great. I've been looking forward to this show for about a week.
Well, yeah, that's how long we've been playing.
Yes, yes. Been about a week. So, Chief Pontiac, you want to talk about your great friend, Chief Rod Hayes, and how y'all met, or anything you want to talk about before we get started?
Oh,
Well,
me and Rod. Oh, so you said me, right? Hey, me and Rod been at it for a while. But Rod to change the paradigm. Like what we on? I think we on we got back on schedule because we was behind as far as the algorithm for getting everybody up to speed.
Mm,
Because it's about people think it's about, oh, we got to get the land. We already got the land. We need the minds of the people up to speed so everybody can be agreeing, on the, like we might not agree on everything, but we agree on most of the things. And so
mhm,
we had to get everybody up to speed and get everybody up to track to for the reset, because it's a reset
mhm,
happening. Well, a lot of stuff gonna get reset back to its old ways, and a lot of things are gonna be upgraded to
mhm,
a new type of system. Being that we going into the Aquarians and we going out of the Piscean. So yeah, Rod has changed the paradigm definitely.
mhm,
As I go through the algorithm on TikTok, all the social media platforms, I'm hearing people teaching the same things, right? Saying the
mhm,
same thing. So it's definitely a beautiful a time to be alive and be a part of this shift and be in this shift that's happening right now. So yeah, me and Rod been at it for like 5 or 6 years.
wow.
We got over probably like 600 tapes out. Yeah. So yeah,
Mm,
and then I
mm.
don't count all the other. Rod be on like 100 different channels, so Rod got more. Rod got more work put in than a lot of people. Yeah, I'm
Then
telling you,
probably
like
us
people that
put
you probably.
together.
Yeah, yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah. So
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
it's a great time to be alive. As we try back up and we
Mhm,
get everything back reorganized like it was before they came to put us in this stoop and rock us asleep.
mhm, mhm. You talked about it
Mm-hmm.
being a new paradigm. One thing that I saw in the old paradigm was a lot of backfighting between the two genders, the male and the female. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
separation, men saying, I'm going to go my own way, women going their own way, the fighting between the
Mm-hmm.
two. And
Mm-hmm.
it has not gotten us far. So, I
Mm-hmm.
think we need to have a conversation about where we go at what do we do now that we're going into a new era that you call it the Aquarian age. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I
You
would
going
like
to
to
answer
see,
that? Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I would like to see healing between the two. Go ahead, T Pontiac, you were gonna.
so when most of us are unaware, most of us are unaware that of the war part of it. It's an uncivil war
Mm,
fought domestically in the home from a remote location.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
They don't once they can condition the mind to function in a particular way, they don't have to micromanage you no more. They
wow.
program you and set you loose just like a robot,
Mm,
right? So it's a sister got a book called Uncivil War. She did a great analysis of the conflict between the genders,
okay.
right? And um, the
Mm,
Sister Shahrazad Ali, everybody knows she wrote The Black Man Guide to Understand the Black Woman Guide to Understand the Black Man.
mm,
Then a lot of people know about Barbara DeAngelis,
mm,
right? And she's a relationship specialist, and she was talking about so many different relationship matters,
mm,
right? Yep, Uncivil War,
okay.
right? So, right. And when you looking at the women's side of it instead of the men's side, and
Mm,
you understand war, then it'll make it easier to see how this is being, how we being ruined in the home,
yes.
right? It really didn't get bad until the welfare system forced people to push men out,
Mm,
which created a tension, a friction between the genders. Because now, if if the man is irresponsible, the women can lean on the state,
mm,
right? But when the man is responsible, the state don't want him around
right.
because they can't control the women if it's a responsible man in the vicinity. So they had
Wow.
to push the man out. Over generations of children growing up seeing the man out the house, it only take about 20 years to change the whole culture of the interaction between the man and the woman. And everybody lost track of the family first philosophy of the tribes.
Family
That
first.
was critical. Yeah. And because the matriarch in the tribe can take two cousins that's bloodthirsty, can't stand each other, but when they come to her house, it ain't no drama.
Mm.
Hey, that's my girl right there.
Barbara, I don't think I've ever seen her before. Barbara
Oh, she
DeAngelis.
got a lot of books. Yeah, she's a really good relationship coach.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Thank you for
You know who
introducing.
she used to be? She used to be married to the guy that wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus.
Oh, that's who she is. Okay. Her face is familiar. Yes, yes. Let me write her down. Barbara
Yeah.
DeAngelis. Used to be married, huh? Okay.
hmm
Okay, we're
Look,
listening.
I read Black Men Guide to Understanding the Black Woman, right?
Hmm.
And this was looking at it from the sister's perspective. But it's another book written by two European women that shows you the European American perspective of the same
Mm,
subject. It's called Bound by Love.
okay. Bound by love. This is a European perspective. I haven't heard of that one either. Wow. Okay. Now, what is that book about?
It's about the relationship dynamics. But a lot of the things that Shahrazad Ali was saying about relationships and Men Are From Mars, they touch on it in that book, but they
Mm,
use the other side of the coin.
okay. Mm, I see. Okay. Just want to write these down. I'll put those in the chat. Thank you. And who was the Muslim sister you shouted out? Ali, Sister
That
Ali.
was Shahrazad Ali. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Black Man Guide to Understanding the Black Woman.
Okay. Guy. Okay.
That was the lady we was
So
going over on the show we did, Dr. Kid Pruitt.
Okay. I remember. She been out for a while teaching, hasn't she?
yeah,
Like I remember
yeah.
her teaching a while ago. Like maybe
I
was it the
I
90s?
think she got Nation of Islam roots.
Yeah, she does. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. Wow. Okay. All right. Sorry to interrupt you, Chief.
hmm
Oops. I'll put all this information in the chat for everybody. Would you recommend reading these books?
All these books are great.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now.
Okay, now when we start talking about taking the father out of the home, it's a book called Fatherless America.
Mm, okay. America or American? Ooh.
America.
How do you how do y'all stay on top of all of this? Wow. Okay. You keep talking, Chief. I'll bring it
Now,
up.
Man, you, I ain't reading no notes.
You
Hey,
always
that
do
boy
that. I
Rod
call
is
you on the
an
phone. So,
encyclopedia.
what'd you say?
Rod is a walking encyclopedia. I'm telling you,
See, wow.
a walking library. I'm telling you.
Mm. Okay.
Okay. That book was written by a European American guy.
Okay.
Now, a lot of the information he talk about is covered in the Destruction of Black Boys, volumes 1, 2, and 3, because
Jawan
they
said
had to
teaching
start
for
with destroying the, yeah,
grant. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah. So if you're gonna wage war against the men, you have to start with the boys. So
Mm.
this is the undermining of the feminine and the undermining of the masculine. That's patriarchal energy, though. The patriarchs that's in control don't want dominant character, stand on business brothers. They want guys with jellyfish spine that don't have anything to stand on, so they fall for anything,
Mm. Mm.
right? So they have to attack the boys. And over 10, 20 years, the boys are not fit to be the proper men to bring the best out of their woman. So they're not
Ooh.
even really ready for sex yet.
Right. Right. Mm.
Because it's supposed to start with the mind before it go to the body. Now it start with the body, then you try to fit the mind in there wherever it fit in.
Mm.
But that brush called broken focus
Okay.
from misplaced priorities.
Mm.
This is a tax on the relationships between the men and the women. Because once you can break up the men and the women from playing their traditional roles, then you start to deteriorate the whole family structure.
Mm.
Weak families make for weak communities, and
That's
weak communities is prime pickings for international bankers and barristers to harvest our children using the prison industrial complex, mortgage and loans to keep the poor poor and the rich rich,
mm. Mm.
right?
Okay. Yes.
So when you go to Dr. Amos Wilson, when you understand the psychological development of the black child,
Mm.
right? Then you can look at the education paradigm and see exactly how they attacking the child in the school system,
Mm. Oh
right?
my. Yes. Yes.
The school system is designed that if they don't make it through the school system, they're not functional automaton.
Mm.
So we get kicked out of school for poor grades, maladjusted behavioral issues. The behavioral issues come from the broken structure of the family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
He also got one called Awakening the Natural Genius of the Black Child.
Ooh.
When you're talking about recovering when you're talking about recovering the relationship, you got to start at the foundation of where you attacked, and it's with the child,
Mm. Okay.
right? Because you gotta first address psychological development of adolescent children in
Mm-hmm.
order to raise an adolescent into a functional adult.
Mm. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Yeah, somebody's probably trying to call in, and my do not disturb it'll still block my sound.
Okay.
But but if you don't understand how they're attacking the children, you will never know why the relationship's not working.
Mm.
You got to see that they're attacking the children first,
Mm.
because you was a child before you was an adult. In the way that they educate the children, they never get to the point where a man becomes a man and put away childish things. They be stuck in the adult childhood mentality.
Let's see.
They
Okay.
have no operational role model to pattern their behavior after that's respectable, because the system either murder them or lock them up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when you look at functional men in the community, you have to find the ones who still had traditional family structure, and you'll find that all of the boys in the neighborhood gravitate to that house. because they want to be around that. They need that role model. Nature's going to send them there, whether they want to go or not,
Mm.
right? And if he a good man and he's teaching the boys right, all of their girlfriends gonna have good men.
Right. Mm.
But if he think he a slick half-ass pimp Willie that have no respect for women, and he raised them boys, they won't have no respect for women, which deteriorates relationships. And that's
Mm.
exactly the tool, the model they use. That's why
Mm.
they sensationalize the bad boy image. And then they make it where the preppies, the nerds, they not fit to be a mate. It's half the time, the bad boys don't make it long enough to have no wife.
Mm-hmm.
Half of them be dead in the penitentiary for their 25. So they not functional in the relationship in the home environment because the training process has been interrupted. That's why we have rites of passage hardwired into tribal structure.
Mm-hmm.
When the boys become a certain age, now it's up to their daddy to teach them.
Mm-hmm.
Hands-on teach them, right, about providing for the family, protecting the family. So he's supposed to be teaching them all this, but they took it out of the home. There's the homeschooling now is a chore. It's a task, like pulling teeth. But that was the standard. We used to teach at home. We didn't have the women, the mothers used to form groups. The
Mm.
ones who had the farm duties to do tended to the farm. The ones that didn't have farm duties to do tended to the children in a co-op.
Okay.
And in that co-op is where you got step down education from.
Mm.
They did that for a reason. Step down education. By the time that kindergartner get to the 5th row, he got 3 more rows to get to the front. He know everything the front row student know,
Mm.
but he still got to teach the ones behind him. They don't know it yet.
Mm. Mm.
Because remember, they've been there for four rows already, from back row to the next row to the next row to the next row. It's only like 6 or 7 rows. So they're getting exposed to college level information in kindergarten. But the step down model, the children on the front row teach the children behind them. They teach the children behind them. And that's what was the bridge from the child respecting the elder. The bridge was that step down education because it taught them structure, chain of command, and how to use a ranking system. When they took down steps down education, they instituted what we call the Rockefeller model. Right? The Rockefeller model is based on the Skinner box and Pavlovian response bell.
Mm-hmm.
So they put them all in the classroom. Right? That's called the 4 walls method, according to metaphysics. It's an enclosed facility. The outdoor method is the way we learn.
Mm.
Take me out on a field trip. Don't have me cooped up in no box trying to tell me. Take me on a field trip. Show me what a ladybug look like in real life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? Explain to me the difference in this flower and that one when they both have the same colors, but they look different and why they different. Right? So the destruction of the child first, this is why they pushing all that alternative lifestyles on children so hard. Because they see in the future of the adult. If they don't attack the children, you raise functional adults. But if they always keep the children under attack and they keep lying to the grown folks with the same lies they've been telling them uncontested, then you are digging yourself into a ditch you can't get out of. You're not ready for no relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because you still living in trauma. Right?
Yeah.
But don't nobody want to talk about shadow work because that's the hard part.
That is hard.
Everybody want the easy part and the microwave fast food part. Don't nobody want to do the hard part.
Mm.
Don't nobody want to go into the darkness to find themselves. Right? They tethered soul.
Ooh.
So they live in by the abuses of the society, manufacturing the artificial perception of the self that we call the ego. In Kemet, they didn't tell you to kill the ego. They
Mm.
said purify it, purify the ego.
Oh, Lord. Mm.
The purification of the ego is examining everything that you think you believe about yourself until you get everything in its proper context. Now you can properly merge your higher self with your ego to become the I am.
I like the way you
The
said
New
that.
Agers tell you to kill the ego.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You
they
said
tell you to
early.
kill the ego.
Mm.
But
Mm.
yeah, because that's your sense of I am, right? First person perspective in your view of the world is I am. But what you put behind that is the aspiration of how you want to express the I am. If you say I am great, then greatness is the idea in which you express as I am, right? So this is called sitting on your God seat, right? Which represents the man sitting on the throne at the base of the skull, but it's not a man, it's a woman.
Ooh.
How do I know? Because
Yes.
of the black dot. The black dot is the yoni, but it's called in science the reticular formation. Dr. King called it the black dot. Western science called it the reticular formation. You want to pull that one up?
The reticular formation. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. So at the base of your spine, you have the brainstem called the pons region. If you remember from the Matrix where they was plugging the plug in to the back of the head, that's the black dot,
Mm.
right? Now remember, spirit energy and sex energy is twins. They Gemini twins though.
Okay.
One ascends, one descends.
Mm.
Read what they say.
The reticular formation is a complex network of nerve fibers and clusters of neurons located in the core of the brainstem that regulates arousal, sleep, and vital body functions.
That's where consciousness enters your body,
Mm.
right? So you ask AI, since it's doing an AI overview, is this the exact point where consciousness enters on awakening?
Should I do that? Or are you just saying that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ask it.
Okay. So what am I asking? Let's see. I'll go back
Is the
to
reticular formation, right, the exact point where consciousness enters upon awakening?
okay. On awakening. Okay.
Watch this.
Okay. It says it's not
What did it
an
say?
It says no, the reticular formation is not a single exact point where consciousness enters, but it is a critical control center that helps wake up the brain. It's the arousal switch.
Right? Because yeah. So when you sleep at night and you wake up, your brain neurons begin the cascade of awakening at that juncture. That's why it's a command center,
Mm. Okay.
right? Okay, now this is how Western science describe it, right? If you type in Dr. Richard King, the black dot, it'll show you his book how what we call African root science describes it differently
Mm.
as the black dot.
Mm. The black dot. Mm. Okay. Mm. He's got a lot of books. Okay. Let's see.
He talk about it in all his books, but he got
Mm.
one called Melanin: The Chemical Keys to Black Greatness, I think it is. No, that's Carol Byrne. His is
I see the key to freedom, melanin, the key to freedom.
African, I think it's an African origin of biological psychiatry.
Okay.
Matter of fact, you could go into the AI and ask which Richard King book talks about the black dot.
Okay.
and then to tell you which book it is. It might be more than one of his books though, because it's critical to what we call today African root science.
Mm, mm.
And it's a series of authors that address it from different perspectives.
Okay. Let me get out of there. Here it is. Which Dr. King books? It says that the black dot concept is discussed by Dr. Richard King, a psychiatrist and author, in his lecture and essay work called Melanin, the Black Dot. Often
Melanin, the Key of Freedom.
often associated with his broader writings on melanin, such as Melanin, the Key to Freedom. Yes. Mm. Okay.
So the black dot science is also how to use the black mirror for screen.
Mm.
The black dot is a black mirror, but it's really the lens on the projector that projects to your prefrontal lobe where your mirror cells at.
Mm.
And then it shoots the image from your mirror cells and it filters it through two glands, pituitary and pineal gland.
Okay.
The pituitary gland converts it into what we call linear logic.
Mm.
The pineal gland, on the other hand, gives it to us in abstract reason. These two are left brain, right brain, and that's called hemisync, the balancing of the two hemispheres of the brain, right? Which is called the sacred union. Most people don't realize you got 4 chambers in the brain that beat like the heart. You also have your medulla is a pump at the base of your skull. And you have another pump at the base of your spine at the root, right? And we pump something called cerebral spinal fluid, just like the heart pump blood. The cerebral spinal fluid is called the silver secretion.
Okay.
But once you get the hemisync, all 4 chambers are simultaneously pumping now, which gives stronger suction to pull from the base of the spine the gold liquid that's called the Christos oil or the sacred secretion.
Okay.
Now, this is going to be important later when we get into the sex part and cycling the energy.
Okay.
Right? Because you need the female counterbalance in order to balance out your left brain, right brain synchronization process naturally. Otherwise, you have to use frequency. Right? You could do it solitary, but you have to use frequency, meditation, and altered states. But with the woman, you can do it in sex. Right? Now, remember, the sacred secretion travels from the root to the crown.
Yeah.
When a woman have an orgasm, her orgasm don't come from the root. Her orgasm comes from the crown. Right? So this is why they promoted the molestation of the children to damage the root chakra to break the circulation.
Woo. Woo.
Remember, they got to attack the children in order to create the ruined adult. Right? The only treatment that for a ruptured root chakra is a prostate treatment called the presidential prostate treatment, where they infuse the prostate with gold, and the gold ends up becoming a polished golden mirror that can allow now the refraction of light to be solidified into a single frequency again. Right? It's a Japanese science of mending the broken vessel with the gold. That's the same process, same thing. And the old ruined vase that they
Somebody must try to call Rod again.
Okay. Feel free to jump in, young elder, if you.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Rod finish his bill. I got a couple questions to trigger some things in Rod mind that I got for Rod when he get through
Okay.
billing on what he billing on now. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Chief. We yield to
Oh,
you,
Rod,
Chief.
he was finished billing.
Yeah. So yeah. So once you can get all four chambers in the brain to pump together, that's when you raise the sacred secretion.
Mm.
When you're doing it as a solitary practitioner, it takes longer, right? It slows you down. You don't develop till you're older in age because you have to develop a certain amount of self control in order to balance the brain. You have to develop a certain amount of knowledge, but you also have to be artistic because the artistic side is what comes through the right hemisphere,
Mm.
right? Spirit sends the message in a part of your brain called the anterior gyrus. It's on your right hemisphere. You want to look that up?
What's it called again?
The
I was.
anterior
Okay. Uh-huh.
gyrus.
Mm.
Now, this is how the universe projects psychic messages to your pineal.
I don't know how to spell gyrus. Oh, gyrus. Gyrus. Okay. I got it. Hey family, hit that like button. Let us know that you appreciate this live. If you are coming in from the Young Elder Show, make sure you hit Young Elder's like button. Make sure you send him some love, send him some donations. The Young Elder $ the Young Elder. Let him know how much you appreciate him bringing on such an amazing guest. And for those of you who are enjoying this build by Chief Pontiac, also known as Rod Hayes, send him a gift too. You can send a cash app to SIK8, SIKAPE. It's on the ticker at the bottom of the screen. Or if you send a PayPal, is SIK801. And we'll make sure we put those on the screen for you. All right. I'm going to that for you right now. I think I've got it up. Is that it right there? Nope, that's not it. 1 second. I see almost 1,000 people in the chat. You're here on both Dr. Kia Pruitt's show and the Young Elder. So please hit the like button on whatever show you're on. Just a minute. Trying to add Chief Pontiac back to the stage. There we go. Chief Pontiac. Can you hear us, Chief?
They might be messing with. Oh, there you go.
Can you hear us?
There you go.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. Okay. Anterior gyrus. Am I not spelling it right? It says there is no standard neural anatomical structure officially called the anterior gyrus, but you are likely referring to either the inferior frontal gyrus on the lateral surface or a deep medial structure like the
Iris. Right there.
cingulate gyrus. Am I spelling it right?
Oh, this is a Mandela effect. No, it's anterior. AN.
Oh, okay. Anterior gyrus. Okay, there we are. Anterior cingulate gyrus. There we go. Let's see if y'all can see it on your end. Let me go back out there. Here it is. The anterior gyrus is the front part of the cingulate gyrus that wraps around the corpus callosum. It acts as a bridge between emotion and thought. It helps control feelings, focus attention, make choices, and manage body responses like the heart rate.
Right.
Is that it?
So it becomes, yeah. So it becomes the bridge between abstract reason and linear logic,
Okay.
right?
Right.
When you get, that's why when you get psychic information right here on your head, it'll be tingling.
Mm.
It'll be coming in because it's going straight through here, but it's hitting your pineal gland. Your pineal gland is the eye that's designated to see the spiritual imagery,
Okay. Mm,
right? So it the
mm.
Well, they
Sir.
keep on. I don't know what they're doing. The raw feed.
Mm.
Hey, y'all.
can y'all hear me now?
Yes, sir. Now I can't see.
Okay.
You look like young elders frozen now. Were you frozen, elder?
Oh, that must mean we giving away some jewels they don't want out.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. That boy Roy IQ higher than the mud. Go ahead, Roy. We can hear you now.
I said, we must be giving away some jewels they don't want out in the street.
I see.
I'm telling you. Hey, Roy, I got a question for you, Roy. Being that we on talking about the children of the future. Uh, my first question is dealing around because I was doing some studying today, and we already did a whole bunch of breakdowns on this on the mitochondrial DNA and the X and the Y chromosome, and how the Y is a pretty much missing a part, like it's missing a line, a telomere. I think that's what you refer to, telomere. Uh, I think that's what you refer to it as. So, and I looked it up. They said the X chromosome is older than the Y. So, based on scientific perspective, wouldn't this be a matrilineal society, being that the mitochondrial goes comes from the strongest part is coming from the woman, so the woman continue the bloodline? Seem like.
They butchering the communication now. You was sounding like a like an alien talking over here.
Yeah, yeah. Look, let me say it again. Okay, so I
Let me
remember we
try to
did a
go.
breakdown. Okay, yeah, it's cutting raw out.
Mm-hmm. They want y'all
Also,
Zelle. Go ahead. They want yours when you get a chance. They want your Zelle. The chat is asking for your both of your Zelle.
oh yeah, it's my email address, Quan Hill 805 at gmail.com.
Quan Hill
I just
805 at gmail.com.
at, yeah,
It's
QUAN 8ILL 805 at gmail.com.
I'll put that in the comment section for you all in a minute, family. This is
Yeah.
the young elder. Some of you all you're on his show right now on his channel. Make sure you send him a love offering to the $ the young L Cash App, or if you want to send a Zelle, for those of you that ask, it's Quan Hill 805 at gmail.com. Okay, and now we're gonna bring on the chief. Chief, oh, I had him. Lord, they really messing with us. Okay, there we go.
While Raw was dropping it, I'm telling you,
I
he was getting
know.
it. Then he got the receipt. He got all the points on it, right? All the stuff it was dropping. So he was giving stuff that people don't even know about those books, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Rod, can you hear me good now, Rod?
Yeah, I just turned my Wi-Fi off and try to use my phone data. Hopefully that'll help.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I just did too, so it won't be chopping me up. All right, so yeah, the question that I
Can you
have
go
for
over
you is
that question
about.
again? Yeah,
Yeah, I got you.
I was just
I
asking you to
got
go
you.
over the question again.
So okay, all right. So yeah, we did a show about the X and the Y chromosome and the mitochondrial DNA, and the mitochondrial being some of the oldest forms of DNA, and the X being older than the Y, and like the Y being just missing a part, missing a telomere, or I think that's what we refer to it as. But this is my thing. So wouldn't, based on science and the DNA, wouldn't that dictates a matrilineal society where it's passed from mother to daughter because of the mitochondrial DNA continues the bloodline?
That is the root of matrilineal societies because the bloodlines of the women go unbroken all the way back to the first mother through
Mm-hmm.
mitochondria. It's not a telomere that's atrophied on the Y chromosome. It's one of the legs of the X that's atrophied. The telomeres is what they pull back on the DNA to shorten the lifespan to 120 years. right? There used to be, when we used to be on Earth for hundreds of thousands of years, the whole chromosome was capped with the telomere. When they did the science experiments and pulled the telomeres back, that's why in your Bible it say, man, the spirit should not always dwell with the flesh, for his years should be 120.
Mhm.
Right. That's the. But you can still buy longer than that, live longer than that. But you have to know how to feed your the telomere reduction. It's a dietary change that allows you to live longer by burning it, by reducing the amount of calories burned. The machine doesn't burn out as fast.
Mm.
This is what Elijah Muhammad was talking about on how to eat to live, where he was talking about eating once every 72 hours. Right? Because that's
Mhm.
why smaller animals, they burn out faster than big animals. A mouse lifespan about 3 years, but an elephant is about 85.
Mm.
Right? The elephant eat more than the mouse, but the metabolism is slower. Right? So you look at the metabolism being tied to the entropy, which is the total loss of energy. So the faster the metabolism, the faster it creates entropy, which causes the breakdown at the cellular level in short period of time. It's a lady named Cynthia Kenyon. She was out of UCLA Berkeley, and she found a chemical in the blood that caused aging, and then she found one that caused a delay in the aging process, where she was doing experiments on worms first. The worms had a 30-day lifespan, and by doing this, giving them this chemical, they was living 90 days,
Mm.
which was unheard of for that species of organism. They started doing experiments on rats and found out that a rat normally live about 3 years naturally. These was living like 5 and 6 and 7 years. So it was extending the life of other animals. And then I think they're in human trials with it now. She's a gerontologist, somebody that studies aging, right? Now, all of this science that these scientists is researching has already been confirmed about 40, 50 years ago by a group of billionaires called the Lazarus Group. The
Mm.
Lazarus Group, they talked about them in an episode of X-Files. Anywhere else you look for them, it's veiled. They don't want us to know about the Lazarus Group. This was a group of billionaires that wanted to extend their life forever on Earth, like
Mm.
Lazarus. That's why they called the Lazarus Group. This is where they bastard the science of body jumping, what they call body snatching, where they
Mhm.
move an old person into a young person body, and then they pave his way where his life is easy for him to get back to where he was in the other body, right? And I was talking about this on Unscrambled Minds too, because it was one of the reasons why they was taking the organs out of the mummies before they mummified them,
Mm.
because they didn't want nobody to reanimate the body. That body gone. Let him go. He gonna come back in a whole new one and start all over again. You can't don't use his body, because they was using the same sorcery. It came out of Babylon. It was falls under the seeing rights of Ninderseeing. And it was used to jump avatars. They used to call it in Sumerian tablets, they call it jumping avatars. This is what they're talking about. Well, the Lazarus Group paid all of the secret societies to anything dealing with aging and reduction of aging to bring them to research, bring them to ancient techniques. This is where made them start trying to get to Antarctica, because they found some tablets or some scrolls in Kemet and India that told them that there was a city under the ice called Tartarus. Tartarus had a capital city that was part of the collective Atlantean Empire. And in this city, they still had the technology from Atlantis, but it was under the ice. This is what the Thule Society discovered it, and it was a race for Antarctica at that point. That's why America sent Richard Byrd. That's why they sent. That's why the Nazis was sending Heinrich Himmler, I think it was, to India to talk to the monks to get the scroll. They wouldn't tell them the technology, but they was telling them that the only city that remained and fully intact is under the ice. The talk about Tartarus in the Book of Enoch. Tartarus is what everybody keep talking about when they talking about Tartaria. Tartaria means west of Rome. To the extreme southwest of Rome is Antarctica. So they talking about Tartarus. Tartarus is where Enlil's son that was impersonating Enki's son Marduk was chained until the end days, which is now. Now that they've been shipping people off world from Antarctica, he gone. He was just a referee between his daddy and his cousin, between Enlil and Tahuti. He didn't want to be here. That's why they had to chain him here. So he had to be unbiased because he didn't want to be here, and he had to take everything over. But it didn't happen like they told us. They gave him the power to be the referee. He wasn't the owner. And it was about military conquest. All this trickles down to where we started with the war. Right? The first wave of the war was what we called the Great Rape Campaign, followed by the destruction of the iconography of the Earth's matriarchal history. And this is where you get the sisters having memories of it. And like the sister wrote, the Sybil's sisters of daughters of Mami Wata, right? That's what she's drawing from the ancestral memory to record the information for the rest of the sisters to remember. The same with Divine Feminine. Malachi York got one called Divine Feminine that talks about the power of the woman. The Sacred Record of Tahuti talk about the power of the woman. Then you have the Journey Home group have a Divine Feminine book that talks about the power of the woman. Right? So we know, based on the Longhouse Treaty that predate the Constitution, that these people over here was matrilineal and matriarchal. That Constitution is not gone. It's still active. It's just unused. They can grandfather it in to restore the matriarchy at any given time. I gave the information to Empress Rarebird so she can create a model to show the rest of the sisters what to do to reclaim matriarchal power all over the land. Everybody in the Army got a mama. Everybody in the Navy got a mama. Everybody in the Marines got a mama. Right? Special forces and all of the top brass in the military has a mama. Even some of them that don't like their mama still got a mama. They couldn't get here without her. So when the mamas tell their children, we not finna play this game no more, everybody come home, what's gonna happen? Everybody gotta come home to protect mama because she just called us home. Mama don't do that. She don't call us from out the field early. She don't stop the kids from playing early because the food got to get done first. So when mama say it's time to come home, everybody get in the house. When she ring the bell or flash that damn light, everybody get in there. It's something big. It's out of order. It's out of the timing is off. It's not dinner time yet. Why is Big Mama calling us back to the house? So you needed a a set of matriarchs that understood the tribal ways, because a lot of them have been indoctrinated by Western civilization and Western culture, right? And that indoctrination prevents them from having any trust in the old tribal system to use it to depose the foreign entities because it give them the absolute right under Article 77 to serve eviction on the foreigners. And because all matriarchal systems is founded on those same principles that we call the great law, all over the world where there's a matriarchy, they can use the same one as a blueprint or an example of a matriarchal order using it in order to solidify it globally. So the women can take over the whole world and then they can mother back the people. We don't need no more war. We need TLC right now. We need mama to come in and say, come eat this meal, baby. It's going to be all right. We don't need no more war. It's not necessary. What we fighting for? Who's sending us to war? Where he at? Why he ain't on the battlefield? Where his kids? Right? When the mamas realize that and they start taking collective action, can't nobody stop them because it's the rule of the earth. And all of the so-called elites, they will honor it if you knew it. So that's why I went into all of their secret societies, because Noble Drew Ali sent me to get out the parts of the secrets to rebuild the matriarchy, because didn't nobody else know how to do it. I didn't know how to do it, but I followed the blueprint of the ancestors before me, and they all gave me a piece. This what you got to do. Garvey gave me a piece. Elijah gave me a piece. Right? Panthers gave me a piece. Snick gave me a piece. Right? I even got pieces from Pale Faces. Weather Underground, White Panther Party, and believe it or not, skinheads and Nazis. Because when most of them be trying to chest for race superiority, they find out they got a darkie in the family and they didn't even know it. Now they're getting kicked out of the organization. What do? When 85 to 90% of y'all that think y'all pale face do y'all DNA and find out y'all niggers? What you gonna do? Who you gonna fight with and who you gonna fight against in the race war? You either gonna fight with the ones that's in your blood or you gonna fight with the ones that's on your skin. You gotta pick. Not me. Everybody gotta know who they is. Who's who on the planet Earth. Ain't that what Malachi said in Sarah? Who's who on the planet Earth? Right? So while they sitting here plotting on this, the government or these secret societies or whoever behind trying to push this racist agenda, we understand that that's a strategy of war and it worked for a long time. Trick no good here. Nature knows no color line. J.A. Rogers. It's all about sex and race, J.A. Rogers. But it ain't as much about it as you think. That's just a war strategy. That's how you get from Superman to man, J.A. Rogers. See, we had to go
Hey,
back to Kemet to get all of the pieces, and then you can look at the board and put them together. Because ancient Egypt is the
mhm.
light of the world. Albert Churchward. Destruction of black civilization is what they called it. Dr. Chancellor Williams, right? But then the elder
Mhm.
said they stole it. You must return it. Who he was talking to?
Right.
So before we ever get into the actual physical contact, we got to reconcile the conflict that was created and manufactured to us as the lifestyle we supposed to live, and then go back to the lifestyle of nature. That's the necessity of a matriarchy. The matriarchy doesn't have big eyes or little U's.
Just about to
Patriarchy
ask
only
it.
care about big eyes, F the little U's.
Hey, I was just about to ask a similar because I did a little statistics. in America, in the House of Congress, only 28% is women and 72% is men. And on the Senate, only 27 women are, I mean, in there, and 73 men. In the House of Representatives, it's 29% is women, 71% is men. So it seems like they muscled this patriarch system on us. Now, that's my question, because we got some listeners that don't agree with the matriarchs, right? They say, oh, they think that the matriarch is gonna come in and the man, you got to sit over there, and the woman gonna tell you, that's always how it been though. But yeah, you got to sit down, because you know they came with this religion. The religion, they say the woman in Islam now, they got a woman got to sit down and do what you told. You know, so they think that the matriarch is gonna be told just the opposite. Well, the man got to sit down and do what he told, right? So what is your perspective on that, on people that fear the matriarch? Like, are they saying that it can't be just the matriarch? It should be balanced. When I think the matriarch was had a balance type of a thing. It wasn't like they thinking like, oh, the woman was telling the man to do what he gonna sit down and you got to be a sucker or be a chomp or something in the matriarchal system. What is your take on that, Rod?
They have a misconception of matriarchy. They think in feminists. A
Mm-hmm.
feminist is antagonistic to the matriarchy, because it's the flip side of the patriarchy coin. Remember, Elijah Muhammad said the last trick of the devil would be to freely give you his woman. He's not going to give her to you under matriarchy. He's going to give her to you under feminism. Feminism is patriarchy with a dress on. We got enough people in dresses that don't need them on. We don't need no more of them. We got the whole Statue of Liberty there, cross-dresser, right in our face. And you wonder why people run around talking about gay pride. I got straight pride. I can't say it though. If I say straight pride, they think I'm bashing gay people. I don't care what they do with their life. That don't got nothing to do with me. But I got to tell the truth, shame the devil, and point the finger where the finger need to be pointed, because some people are pointing in the wrong direction. Right? So the matriarchy is about balance, about might is the underlying rule of the matriarchy, which is perfect balance. You can't get the perfect balance with the women doing the same thing the men was doing. That's not matriarchy. Men scared because they think that when they say take away the patriarchy, that means snatch the power from the men. No, it's a process under matriarchy by which you get your power and you lose your power. They not finna give you no power in the matriarchy and you finna be a tyrant. That's only patriarchy to do that. A good tyrant can excel to the heights of the world under patriarchy. Joseph Stalin, right? Vladimir Lenin, Mao Zedong, Adolf Hitler, Benito Mussolini. These is all of the pinnacles of patriarchal domination and mass murderous intent. They all kill millions of people, but they only want to focus on one. Like he the only one killed somebody, about 1 million. The Bolshevik Revolution killed 20 million people out the gate. They killed 20 million people out the gate. And they talk about 6 billion in Germany. Right? The Italians had a whole African slaughter under Mussolini that exceeded 6 million people, but they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about King Leopold and the 30 million people they slaughtered in the Congo. This patriarchy, though. They only want to talk about that one in Germany. If you mention the Congo invasion of King Leopold, they act like, what you talking about? Play dumb in the mud, right? All you got to do is study Cecil Rhodes and why he was over there. And then you'll know why the Rhodes Scholar is not what you think it is. It's a person well trained and skilled in the art of oppression and subjugation. That's a real Rhodes Scholar. Following in the pattern and the blueprint of Cecil Rhodes. He created a dog called the Rhodesian Ridgeback to hunt down the Negroes that he couldn't slaughter because they got away into the jungle. Then while they was hunting the people, the animals started attacking their ass. He created another dog. We called it South African Mastiff. It's a Borbal to fight the lions and the hyenas and the jackals and the wild dogs of Africa. So they had a whole war plan going. The war didn't stop when it got to the domestic front door of the home because they applying psychology, sociology is applied to warfare. You can't micromanage what everybody doing. You can pluck the rogue elements out and put them in prison, but you can't micromanage everybody because everybody ain't doing something that's absolutely wrong or that you would consider wrong. Some people just in the library reading a whole bunch of stuff and they come out and tell you what they found. They
I
want
got
Jordan Maxwell to shut up. Go ahead, Dr. Pierre.
I have a question for you because I'm one of the ones that was kind of leery about the return of the matriarchy, even though I'm a woman. I just see the minds of a lot of my sisters where they're so angry and bitter towards men and, kind of have a lot of hatred rhetoric. And I'm trying to figure out what that transition is going to look like. How are we going to go from the system we have now to one where we have a matriarchy when the women are so angry and a lot of times like violently and aggressively angry and hateful toward like it, I think in the black community we have a pathological aversion against our men, black misandry. You talk about receipts, Yoso and Salazarno talk about black misandry. Like I really see that pervasive in our community. How do we transition from that, what my perception anyway, to
Yeah.
what we're
So
talking?
that's one of the reasons why they formulating a women's healing retreat.
Okay.
First of all, when you worry about the sisters that's angry, you have to ask a question of emotional intelligence.
Okay.
Is it in context?
Mm,
On the surface, it might not look like it,
okay.
but now, being who you are in your life right now, let's say you go to bed one night, you wake up, and your bed is in the middle of the desert, right? Your house, you ain't got no house. All your money gone. They done stole it out the bank account, so now your car don't work. And your hard wealth that was at your house, you got to get back to your house. Now, as an emotional body, the frustration is going to automatically transform into anger.
Yeah.
Where is my shit?
Yeah.
How the hell I get out here in the middle of nowhere with nothing? And I was living in abundance with everything. Where's my stuff? Who got it? How do I get it back? Right? You instinctively know all this stuff, but you don't know what to do about it because the system that you're looking at is designed to put a veil over your eyes to prevent you from seeing your house even when you're on your street. And you keep driving past. I know I live here somewhere. And somebody else now got their feet up on your couch watching your TV, eating your expensive hors d'oeuvres, right? Taking the bath with your expensive soap, smelling like you, putting on your expensive clothes. Now they running around as a well-dressed, good-smelling lie.
Kind of like
And you trying to
kind of like
and
the
you trying
foreign
to find your
nationals over here
stuff.
on my land. Kind of like everybody that's over here on my land, on
Hmm.
our land. Makes it really ticks me off, but I yield.
Right. But based on the tribal traditions and the tribal structure, right? The women have to go through the healing retreat because it's part of the process of returning back to the matriarchy. And the purpose of the healing retreat is to purge the war energy And to go back to what we call the juicy energy, Heidi Barbara got us glow up, right? The juicy energy is what all the men want in a woman. All of us want that juicy energy. It ain't one of us that don't. The problem is that don't nobody know how to get us back there. So I'm giving y'all the cheat sheet. So the healing retreat, the sisterhood was how the community maintains stability, right? The men is the kinetic shield and the guardians of the work of the women with raising the children. And that's why the men have to pluck the boys at a certain age so they can teach them about how to be a man. But little boys need to be hugged by their mama and their aunties and their sisters so they have an understanding of proper interaction with the opposite gender before they be hit puberty. They don't know. But they creating children, boys that don't understand the boundaries between the genders. And this create monsters. And now everybody mad because we got monsters running around the community, but don't nobody want to do nothing to fix the problem. Everybody want to wallow in the problem and complain about problem they wallowing in. You're on mute, Dr.
We want to complain and blame each other for all the problems.
So when we come back together, we got to keep that in the forefront of our mind when we start rebuilding the matriarchy, right? As we rebuild it, they got to have a training ground, a staging events. They got to train the priestesses for the ritual. While they train them for the ritual, they got to go through their detox, right? They chiropractic adjustments. All this stuff had to be assembled. It's not instant. This ain't 3-minute microwave meals, right? But again, somebody had to show the blueprint of the tribal tradition in the public domain so that all of the matriarchs across the land can reform their structures. Their instructions have to be, how do we formulate this community into a cohesive matriarchal co-op as opposed to a bunch of rogue women running around bumping into each other, right? It's structure. Block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, till you got the whole city. It's a mama on every block. She the matriarch of the street, and most of us don't even know her. Because we done got so selfish, we don't speak to that old lady that live by herself down the street, never knowing that she's the one to sit on the porch as the overseer of the block by birthright. But she don't have her asset. So based on everything we just went over, do you think these women got a right to be angry?
Yes. Yes.
Is that emotion in proper context to their experience?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If the emotion is in proper context, it's not the person that needs to change, it's the conditions that the person is in. And you can only change that by frequency modification of the individual. Because if you don't change their frequency through healing, their frequency is going to trap them in the same environment. That's why people that don't get along with nobody don't get along with nobody, nowhere they go. They complain about everybody else, never realizing it's only one common denominator in all of their complaints. They the only one there. You the only common denominator. It's got to be you. If it's everybody else is the problem, everywhere you go, the problem has to be you. Fix yourself first. Now, when the sisters start coming together for healing, you need what's called seasoned veteran observers because they got to see the residual effects of the conjure magic that broke up the sisterhood and call it out. It'll let her go because the conjure spell has already been revoked. So now the women have to be trained to see it when it emerges in the sisterhood so they can purge it. And what it looked like is jealousy and backbiting when it show itself. It looks unsolicited anger and rage. at your sister. That's the spell. That's the residual effects. And the more of them realize it when they with their sisters, normally y'all get along real good, but when the spell kick in, all of a sudden she acting funny. You don't know what it is. She don't know what it is. Because the only reason it works is because it's done in the dark.
Or when she
Right.
try to take what's yours, because a lot of women don't just act funny. They get in your circle and try to be nice to you. Then they see what you got and they steal it, like your man or your wealth or women can be really conniving.
Yeah. But you got to remember, the patriarchs couldn't do this without some women help.
Mm.
That's why everybody's scared of the matriarch, because of the women that helped it. The feminists.
Wow.
Hey, Rod, that brings my question right there when you said the feminists. Now, I did a little research, and me and Dr. Gia Pruitt did a tape on it a couple weeks back, and we talked about Gloria Steinem. And it come to find out she was working with the CIA as a feminist movement. So it seemed like it was a war strategy to create this black feminist movement, in cahoots with the welfare and the government assistance, where they kicked the man out the home. It seemed like it was all a war strategy. And it was directed pretty much at the so-called Black Americans, because it really was going on in America. Like, so what is your take on that? With this being pretty much a war strategy to destroy our whole structure, our whole matriarchal structure that we had with Big Mama and Big Paul being the underboss, this and that. What is your take on that?
Well, when they take you away from your proper traditions, you got to remember, everything we did was based on the laws of nature, the great law, the law of nature, how nature designed our living arrangement. Humans is pack animals. That's why we form clans and tribes, because we naturally come and congregate together, right? You have what's called a blood tribe. That means you're born into it. And then you have what's called your social tribe, which is the tribe that surrounds you, and you a nomad. So you join that tribe. That's your social tribe, right? And then you have what's called your soul tribe, which is your spirit group. Those are the ones who they in a different tribe, but y'all sync, y'all click. Y'all the ones that's supposed to bring peace between the warring tribes, right? Because that's why y'all are kindred spirits in different tribes to bridge the gap, right? And if it wasn't a war strategy, we would have been back to it, because it got to be a war strategy, because every time we try to go back to the tribal traditions, like Giant Africa and the Move movement in Philadelphia, they just blow your ass up if you get too successful with tribalism. And then they demonize tribalism, and then to tell you that the tribes is called gangs, and they villainize the word gang, but nobody don't know that the gang means tribe. The word gang etymologically means tribe. So all
But
of it is a war
go
strategy.
ahead, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of it is war strategy.
It seemed like, yeah, and if the CIA is involved, it's high. It's like it's like a think tank to pretty much destroy us, and it's going like, then at the same time, right after they got the feminine movement, they roll in with crack cocaine, and they want to drug us, and because in the mind control thing, they using drugs as a additive with the mind control. So this is man, it's got to be something very special about us over here in America, the Nubians over in America, because for them to want to do all this shit to stop us. Like, they got to come up with CIA, they got to do the black feminine movement, they got to drug us, they got to do programs on TV. That's another question I got for you, Rod, because we noticed they got what they call sitcoms. And then my thing I think about sitcoms, you got a sitcom while you being programmed. I remember my grandma when we used to be watching TV, my grandma used to say, sit down while my program on. Well, my program going. So then I started to think about, like, then was they programming us do these sitcoms where, like, in certain sitcoms where they show families being broken apart and cheating and etc. What's your take on that, Rod? On the type of stuff that they
Okay,
play on TV and radio and shit. Go ahead.
the whole television idea is a programming mechanism. And the reason we know, not because of modern television in the 80s and the 70s and the 60s used to have a turnoff time. Wasn't no 24-hour television. But at the beginning of the day, when they started running television, they say, now our programming shall begin. They didn't say our program, they said our programming. That means they're in the process of programming something. We just didn't know it was us. At the end of the night, when the TV go off and it looked like the EBS sign on the TV, right before it go off, our today's programming has concluded. Join us tomorrow for tomorrow's program. And we were right there. The problem is they came on early enough that the majority of us didn't catch the warning at the beginning, and it went off late enough that most of us was in the bed. As long as they put it out there for you to see it, it's your responsibility, not theirs. They already told you. Then when you start researching the Coca-Cola popcorn experiment at the movie theater, where they discovered the foundations of what they call subliminal programming, and they've been doing that with TV ever since. They just don't do it and put something in one frame. They'll do something like sit something on the counter behind somebody for you to see. Same thing, still subliminal programming. If you ever realize, if you check Hollywood, they got specific people that design the set. They read the script, they understand the message they're trying to get across, and based on the script, you got two people that got to come in now. You got the wardrobe department, and then you have the people that got to come in and design the set. When you design the set, you're trying to get a certain aesthetic across. In the process of creating the aesthetic you're trying to get across with the set, you also, whether you know it or don't know it, are inserting subliminal programs in there based on your own bias. Because it's your creativity that's creating this set. It's not somebody else's. You drawing from somebody else's plan to build the set. They give you the blueprint. Your subconscious fill in the blanks. So then when wardrobe come in, they match the wardrobe to the set. So now you got movies like Aeon Flux, where there's a unique aesthetic to the whole layout of the movie, right? And look futuristic in detail. It's another one based on that same aesthetic called Equilibrium, where the guy learned the gun katas. It's martial arts shooting of the firearms, right? You got to be able to shoot and not be shot in real time. So all of this stuff is designed. If you even look at the flyers, they all have a particular aesthetic, right? So it's trying to get you to feel a certain frequency from what they're painting in the imagery. That is what they call open programming. That means it's not a secret that they programming you with something, but you just don't know what it is. Because the aesthetics never came across your mind, like what made them choose this wardrobe and this background, this set for this movie. Right. I'm kind of quirky. So like I'll be watching a futuristic movie and say, why did they make this a cowboy movie? Right? Why they didn't make this into a superhero movie?
Mm-hmm.
right? So when you start asking yourself those questions, you start putting together pieces to a bigger puzzle that you don't even know you're working on until so many pieces that you start to see the picture.
Hey, Rod, what's your take on this? Cause 'cause I listen to everybody. I like to take in perspectives, and some people say that the matriarch was weak, and that's why it got overthrown. That's why it didn't make it. And then some people say the patriarch is overpowering, and that's why it's going down. So, what you think about Hegelian? I think that's how you say it, Hegelian. Because it seems like if you study that, if you really understand the matriarch, it's really a Hegelian society. Like it's really like well, the man, everybody, because we are biologically different, man and women, right? We have similarities, but a man can produce sperm, a woman can't. A woman can hold a child for 9 months, a man can't. So it's like we all got positions, we all got roles. If you really understand the matriarch, it's really a Hegelian society where it's a balance taking place with the
Egalitarian.
matriarch.
It's
Why you say it
egalitarian.
again? Yeah,
Egalitarian.
egalitarian. That's how you say it. Yes, ma'am. That's how you say it. What's your take on
The
that, bro? Because they
very
say the
word,
matriarch got overthrown because it's weak.
look, the very word egalitarian means balance. Balancing two things out in a harmonious manner,
Mm,
right? The matriarchy, even though it looked overthrown, it just been operating in the shadows.
mm,
There's still been women in other countries around the world that's been living their own matriarchal society with patriarchy next door. Even us over here, we think the patriarchy is really running something over here until mama say, get your ass, it's time to eat. Don't let them street lights catch you on. And then what does she say? If you don't get in here, I'm going to tell your daddy. That's in a
mm-hmm,
structured family. And them kids tear the door down getting in the house when Big Mama say, get in there.
mm, mm. Yes, sir. Egalitarian is an adjective or a noun that describes the belief that all people are equal and deserve the same rights, treatment, and opportunities.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's equal opportunity is egalitarian is balance.
Yes, sir.
And the matriarchy is based on what you're capable of doing, not who gave you some alphabets. You got some people that have got PhDs that open fucking doors in New York because that's the best paying job they could get with their degree. The egalitarian structure says if you're the best person for the job, you can't leave that job unless a more qualified person come along or you train a competent replacement before you leave.
Mm,
That was the basis by which factory jobs is passed down in families that gave birth to what they call guilds, that gave birth to unions. The workers' guild birthed the workers' union. And that's why the steel workers and the Teamsters, the truckers had the strongest unions because they had the oldest guild. The in the tribal culture, the old truckers was the transporters of goods across the land from one big mama to the other in order for us to exchange and open trade. The patriarchy drove the trade underground and it popped up as grocery stores as the replacement, right? They took away the trading post. Trading post was a midway point between multiple communities where they all could converge and trade in goods and services. You see the Mexicans out in front of the store and the dude come through in the pickup truck and take them to go work in the morning. That's how we used to be at the trading post. But we used to go help people in the fields to farm the food, and we'll leave with bags of food. Right? That's was something that the teenagers did. That wasn't the adults. By the time you got to be an adult, you were skilled in your own labor and working your farm. You were sending them boys out to go learn how to provide without using the family farm. That's why they sit out in front of the trading post waiting on somebody to pick them up because they had to go learn skills off the land, away from home. Now they gave it to us as vocational education. It wasn't vocational education before, right? It was apprenticeships. They got rid of the apprenticeship in order for them to have an apprentice become a professor and teach 20 in the class instead of teaching one effectively. He generally teach 20, right? Now you got universities got stadium sized classrooms. How in the hell is he supposed to teach all them kids by himself with maybe two assistants? You got 3, 4 people trying to teach it. You can give them a general idea, but you can't analyze the individual in order to give the personal touch to the education that helps the child flourish. That's going to interfere with love making. Ain't
Hey, I was
nobody
just
going to
about to
be
ask that
operating
question.
in their proper frequency. It's going to interfere because everybody is confused. Under the matriarchal structure, the men had to be responsible for the boys becoming men. Stand up like a man. Move straight.
Right.
Don't be running your mouth like a girl because you're a girl. If I catch you out here running your mouth like a girl, you're going to run that fade. I got somebody your size, your age that's going to tear your ass up. So don't do that. Respect yourself first. So when you go out into the community, you carry the command of respect. That way you never find yourself fighting to demand respect. That's manhood. They want that out of our community at all costs. So lock Jeff Ford up, lock Larry Hoover up, lock Benny Lee up, lock Tukey up, kill Raymond Washington, kill Big Bull Harrison, kill him, kill King David Barksdale. We don't want them teaching those boys how to stand up and be men.
Right.
Get them out of the way. They in the way. They starting to get them all together. We don't want that. Strike the shepherd, scatter the flock. That's the philosophy, right? The matriarchy always have a contingency plan for everything, or else they wouldn't be rising right now. Think about it.
Hmm.
Now, if you go back to the religious world, the devil challenged God in the religious world to let him rule to determine if his rule was better than God's rule. The only thing they didn't tell you is that the devil was a man and God was a woman. That's the part they didn't tell us.
Hmm.
And how
Interesting.
do we know God is a woman?
Hey, hey, Rod, because we'll be talking about getting booty. Because we got we about the getting booty part. Yeah, this is my question about the getting booty. Hey, I hope all the kids gone to sleep it because we about to get into the get booty part.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
when it come down to get booty, like most of the time we go and say, "Oh, I like the way she is. She fine." Before we can even look into the sit down and talk and over like see if we really got chemistry together, we want to get the booty first, and
Mm-hmm.
then we figure out later, hey, I don't like this chick or I don't like this guy, and then boom, we so relationships really don't last long nowadays. But back in the day, I remember they had the word coating, right? They don't really talk about this no more coating. Well, you had to go to the father, and then Dr. Kia Pruitt talked about this on the last show we did about the strong black women. You used to have to coat, but now you don't got to coat no more. So, what's your take on that? Do you think that's why a lot of relationships don't last because we going to get booty before we sit down and like really get to know each other and have this interaction with each other before we get booty? Go ahead.
we had we had mostly arranged marriages. The courtship phase that you talk about when they say who you courting. This is how they say it in the South. Look at that boy over there courting that girl, right? we had arranged marriages. The courtship phase was you had what's called prospects. It had nothing to do with sex. Sex didn't even come into play at this part.
Mhm.
The prospects, the mother approved certain prospects, and then the father approved certain prospects for different reasons. Right? The father's gonna say, well, if my son gonna be a chip off the old block, then he gonna feel like I feel. This the kind of woman he gonna want, right? And then the mama gonna say, you think you know your son? You don't know him better than me because I think this the kind of woman he want. The courtship phase is to find out who right, mama or daddy, so you'll know what side of the family line you fall on. Sometimes they both right in a different way, right? So the goal is which one of them gonna pick the one gonna give you peace, and then which one of them gonna pick the one that's gonna give you a piece. Most likely, daddy gonna pick the one that's gonna give you a piece because he don't want you to struggle with trying to learn who she is before you hit them panties. Mama gonna pick the one that's gonna bring you peace, that's gonna love you unconditionally like her. She ain't gonna care what she look like. She ain't gonna care. She can change all that with alchemy before you ever get to see her. So you'll go meet a chick that you think is she's all right. When you meet her, you find out that she used to weigh 400 pounds. Now she weigh 100 pounds. She used to be doing all kind of dumb stuff. Now she do everything with order and structure. Mama done got in her heart. Yeah. Listen, this is a misleading title because it say when God was a black woman and why she's not now. The only reason why she's not now is because we don't remember. If we remember, God doesn't change. It tell you that in your religious books. God is the same to yesterday, today, and always. Ain't that what it say, Dr. Kidd? So
Yes,
then
sir.
how did God stop being a woman? Did God get a sex change operation? What happened? Or did God say, oh, so you think you can rule better than me? I'm gonna give you 6,000 years to prove it.
So,
On this
Chief,
20,
I'm sorry. There was a
go ahead.
Caucasian woman. There was a Caucasian woman named Marilyn Stone that wrote the book When God Was a Woman. And she talked about how you probably noticed when God was a woman, all cultures worship God as a woman. And then Joseph Gibson is a brother who wrote When God was a woman and why when God was a black woman, why she isn't now. And he was just saying how we used to worship her as a black woman. But now, like you said, people forgot and they worship a Caucasian male. Yeah.
Not just any old Caucasian male though.
Mm.
He's an exceptional Caucasian male because he's dressed like a woman and wears beard like a man. I
Mm.
think he had said so. He dressed like a woman, but he wear a beard like a man. I think he has said so.
It's just a, mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
Hush
Remember
put.
the woman
That's
Pharaoh
what
who wore the beard?
Oh, yes.
People think she was cross dressing. She wasn't cross dressing. You know what the beard symbolized in that particular dynasty?
No.
The power to speak to the masses. The beard was supposed to be the symbolic bridge between your throat chakra and your tongue.
Mm.
That's what the cobra is.
Wow.
Cobra is your tongue.
Mm.
Hey, I got another question, Rod, about the getting booty part. Yeah, people like say, yo, don't talk about getting booty. Hey, look, so like once I started studying the brain, and studied that hey, we got these hormones like dopamine, serotonin, melatonin, all these different things. And I always say he always hear people talk about, oh, me and him, me and her got chemistry, right? That he when you, like someone when you with somebody and they make you laugh all the time, and it's like a joyous feeling when that dopamine or serotonin and etc. is being released. So does that play a part too? Should that be a major part? If y'all have chemistry, meaning they can release certain like estrogen for the women, testosterone for the men. We got these different hormones. So do that play a part in the relationship as far as like the releasing
So
of different hormones?
I read a book called The Chemistry of Love, or The Biochemistry of Love, I think was the name of it. And it talked about when the people that express feeling like they in love, there's certain chemicals that the brain release. For the woman, the main arousal chemical is the same one that induces her labor called oxytocin, right? Then she gets to get a rush of serotonin, which is the common sedative, right? I mean, no, it's an energetic uplifting, and then the melatonin is the breakdown of the serotonin that gives you the relaxing sensation, and then you have other chemicals like I think it's alpha endorphin, it might be beta, but it's one of the endorphins that is stimulated with the oxytocin that gives you what's called the brain response, right? And the chemistry in the brain is what tells the body what to feel. So the arousal comes from that chemistry you talking about. The man judges the feminine um, arousal by symmetry. Beauty is defined by symmetry, right? The symmetry that you're looking for in the female is her nose proportionate to her face? Is her eyes proportionate to her nose? Is it centered correctly? And this gives you what you call the refined features. These features become the flower that you're trying to pluck. The beauty that you seek, right, is in the symmetry of the opposite gender. The women look at the men for what's called masculine traits. She won't get if she's a feminine woman, a feminine man will never get her goat going. But if her energy lean more toward aggression and combative energy, she'll prefer men that dress like the peacock. Normally, this happens over time, though. When she won't accept a man that look like the peacock, she's normally in her 40s, right? And he's a much younger man, and he's dressed to the teeth. As they say, dressed to the nines, right? Now he's a seducer. He's a Don Juan, a Lothario, a Casanova, running around seducing single women everywhere he go until they hire him to come over here and marry Big Mama. When he married Big Mama, he tell Big Mama, well, you know, I'm a Christian, and under the Christian laws, when I married you, all your property became mine. And now I'm about to go get this sharecropping agreement. That's how they stole, or gave us the illusion that they were still in the land
Wow.
by switching us from matriarchy to patriarchy through marital rights,
Mm,
right? The story play out in Django.
mm,
Hmm.
mm.
Hey, what about the because you got alpha males, beta males, alpha females. How does that play a part in the relationship? Because you got some women are more, like you just said, more masculine. They got and they might pick a more of a beta male or a sigma male, and then versus alpha males and alpha females. Because if you study the packs, they mostly the like the wolf pack, like certain clans, animal clans, the alpha male and the female alpha run together, and they run the whole clan as the breeding part. So, what's your take on that? With the different alpha male,
In
alpha
the
female, etc.
in the human family, the alpha female is not the aggressive one. And in the human family, the alpha female is the most emotionally intelligent woman, where she can deal with everybody, from every walk of life in peace and harmony, just by her being in her feminine energy. That's a real alpha woman. Her presence creates a natural demand for more of her presence, right? Pull up this book, Power of Beauty. In the power of beauty, the woman in her natural feminine, if she's an alpha, the power of beauty can be wielded like a weapon. It can be used to subdue great men, make them take whole countries to war, and leave legends behind like Helen of Troy, without telling you that Helen was Medusa, without telling you that Medusa was a title, not a name, without telling you Medusa was the top ranked female of a priestess group called the Gorgon, right? So she's talking about when you using the beauty in the social structure, right? Now, the emotional intelligence comes into play because by emotional intelligence, the alpha female, she calls other women to try to sync with that frequency. We call it hiving, right? It's commonly seen in dorm rooms when a group of women's menstrual cycles start to sync. The synchronization is always founded around normally an older, more emotionally stable female. So they use her as they lunar calibrator to calibrate them to the 28-day cycles of the moon. She's the frequency holder. And normally in the dorm, most people don't pay attention. If some college student that's an older woman in the dorm that they all sinking to.
Mm.
She's normally the leader of the sororities or the cheerleading team or the volleyball team or the ballet team, whatever she's in, she the leader, but she the oldest one out there. She probably didn't go to school because she had babies as a teenager until she got 30 years old. Now she got time to go to college. So now she's sitting in the dorm with all these young girls. She didn't know that the nature sent her there. Nature sent her there because there's a flock of young women that needs a female, firm, matriarchal frequency to anchor her energy. You see it in that spinoff to the Cosby Show as a different world when they had Jaleesa in there. She represents the archetype of the character.
I was just thinking
And
about
if you
her when you said
yeah.
that.
So if you pay attention, you notice that even when the sisters is at war, they don't give her no shit. When they beefing with each other and don't give her no crap, and then she could come in and make peace with any of the sisters that's fighting. That's called a big mama call. Big mama said, cut that shit out, and they all straighten up, right? So once we understand that part of how the woman natural in her natural habitat is an alpha, then it takes us to the male. Alpha male is not the one pounding his chest like everybody thinks.
Mm.
He's the beta. He's trying to get alpha attention as a beta. That's why you got to beat his chest, right? That's why he always trying to start fights, can't fight, and if somebody beat him up, he want to kill him. He doesn't have emotional intelligence. That's a beta male. A real alpha male is masculine in his presence, right? But he understands the nature of the feminine to the point where when he communicate with women, they all feel safe and secure just in a basic conversation. Right? They don't feel now because of the male been villainized so much, they might feel creeped out by a masculine male. Because they used to betas and other lesser than betas males,
Mm. Mm.
right? But the alpha male presence, it makes the woman become naturally more productive because his presence anchors her femininity, and now she's going to naturally start nesting. And her nesting energy can come out at work as filing the best files in the file cabinet. That's the greatest secretary I ever seen. She ain't no goddamn good secretary. She's a good mother. And her mother energy nesting in your office. And you thinking that she's a good secretary. She just brought, that's why she ain't at home with them kids, because she came to mother your dumb ass. Because you think you know it all, because because your name is on the office. You can't get there if she ain't there. I tell you that behind every great man is a great woman. You're not getting there if you cut her out. It's not gonna happen, right? I was telling the sisters on Unscrambled Mans the other day. When you go to the Pantheon of India, you could pull up any one of the male gods, and they gonna have thousands of wives, millions of wives sometimes. What nobody not telling you is their vanity is predicated upon them many. This is how many divine feminines it take to make you this level of God. Type in how many wives did Brahma have.
Brahma?
Yep. This Abraham, by the way, y'all. Everybody thought he
Oh.
only had one wife, Sarah.
He had like three at least. I know, well, according to the Bible.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. Hey.
Yeah, Sarah, Hagar, and I think her name, the one that he had 8 sons, 6 sons with her.
Keturah.
Uh,
Keturah.
yeah, Keturah. That's her. Yeah, Keturah.
Here they go. In Hindu mythology, Lord Brahma is traditionally described as having 2 or 3 wives, depending on the specific text and regional tradition.
Okay. Type in which Hindu gods had thousands of wives. I'll just
Oh,
give you a list of them.
okay. I'm
Hey,
glad you.
Rob,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say about the symbolism. When you look at like the symbolism of the mother breastfeeding the child, or when you go over and look at Ramesses, he always got the woman standing beside behind him, and she got her hands on both hands on both of his shoulders, and he got his left foot forward, and he holding,
Mm,
he's standing in some kind of position, but you always see the woman with her hands on his shoulders, and that's it's all in this, all in our ancient symbolism about what you was just saying about behind every strong king or man, it's a strong woman. It's under symbolism.
hmm Is it Krishna? We're talking about Lord Krishna. He
Yeah,
had.
that would be your equivalent to Jesus' character in the church.
He had
Hmm.
16,000 additional, 8 principal wives, 16,000 additional wives. Good Lord.
But them
Wow.
and all
Yeah,
them not the eight
Solomon.
wives might have been his real actual wives, but that
Okay.
16,000 is the ones that supported him and
Wow.
gave him the energy to become recognized and renowned. That's not
Mm-hmm.
that he had
Mm.
that many acts. It's the same with Solomon. They said Solomon had
Yeah.
thousands of wives.
Yeah.
All of them were
Hmm.
different women from different queendoms that came together as a team in order to give him the power to rule.
Mm.
That don't mean he was
Mm.
sleeping with all them women,
Yeah.
because he would only be able to sleep with one a day.
Hey, Rod, because you talked about this before. If you go to a look at an overlay of Washington D.C., it's got the what they call it, Ben, the towers.
Obelisk,
I forget the name of them. Your
the
obelisk.
obelisk.
It's set up as a feminine, divine feminine layout, and then the obelisk is like right in the middle. Like, so you break some of that down. You was breaking it down to me before about the feminine layout and how the
Yeah. So
divine feminine
look at
really
the
gave them the energy. Go ahead.
yeah. When you look at the obelisk, it sits on something called a Vesica Pisces. The Vesica Pisces is the yoni.
Oh.
That is also the fish in the church.
Mm.
Look at the ground. See that third one over there to the right. You can see the ground. You see
Right
like
here.
right here. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Wow.
Click on it.
Oh, okay.
You see how it look like the two circles overlapping and it's between
Yes,
them?
right
Right.
here.
In the middle, right.
Oh,
So that middle piece is called Vesica Pisces,
okay.
which is the symbol of the yoni. That's also the fish from the church to make
Mm,
you fisher of men. So they turn the I into the J so you can have a hook, right? So this is supposed to be the conquest of the patriarchs over the matriarch. This is what this symbolizes. Now,
whoa.
notice they call the obelisk the Cleopatra's needle,
Mm,
right? Now, who was Cleopatra? Cleopatra was the last pharaoh.
mm.
When did she reign? Around the time of the crucifixion. Well, if she was the last pharaoh, what was her official title? Set.
Oh,
If her official title is Set, and Set in Greek is Isis, who the hell is she? And
Jesus.
Isis was rendered into the word we call today Jesus.
Mm, mm-mm.
And
They
they
tricked the
also
shit
put a
out of
light
us.
in the top of that in them obelisks. They put a light represent like I guess like the spark of the sperm. But then
Yeah.
also,
So that's
Roy,
supposed to
you
be
was
the
breaking down.
Masonic Fiat Lux.
Yeah,
That's
and you
supposed to
was
be the
also breaking
Masonic
down that.
Fiat Lux.
That's right. And I think on that same tape we did when you broke that down, which what we just showed, right? You was breaking down how like the top of the Capitol building is really like a breast, and all they mosque is like got breast feminine layouts. Like the
Yeah.
breast, the dome is like a breast. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. All those are sexual symbols in plain sight,
Mm-hmm.
right? So all of the towers in Islam are phalluses, and all of the temple domes is breasts, right? The greatest sexual innuendo of all time is the kissing of the Blackstone.
Mm.
That's giving oral sex to Lilith. That's
That's it.
performing what they call cunnilingus, kissing the
Mm,
yoni of the great mother. Lilith is the energy when the moon goes dark for those days, you in Lilith energy. Lilith is the moon of Saturn. When they tell you something that's Saturnian, they're concealing Lilith behind Saturn because Lilith is the controlling moon of the frequencies of Saturn, of the feminine nature of Saturn, right? It's judgmental frequency of the woman. The one that call out the injustice when she sees it, she don't care who don't like it. She don't care who she piss off. If you down there touching on them kids, she gonna put your ass on blast in front of the whole basketball arena.
mm-hmm.
That's Lilith. That's why they don't like to talk about her and they like to demonize her because she's not buying it. And then when she say something, the men gonna automatically come to her aid. They don't want that Lilith energy because she
Mm.
gonna say something. And when she say something, any man that is a man is obligated to correct the problem if he can correct it on the spot.
Ooh.
You don't want the women to embrace that kind of feminine energy no more. That's why they demonize and villainize Lilith. Lilith is actually Lil Neith,
Mm.
referred to in Kemet as Nephthys, the one that helped Isis put back Osiris's corpse, right? And she had what's called the power of the I forgot what that symbol is that she had the power of, but it regenerates life.
Mm.
It's not the Ankh, but it has the power to help restore life. It's one of the mothers. It might be the Ba, but she had the power of that she mixed with the magic, which is the love of Isis, in order to heal and resurrect Osiris from the dead.
I wanted to
Just
ask
long
you.
enough for him to have a baby. Go ahead, Dr. Q.
I wanted to ask you. I had a thought earlier, and you and I talked about this off live. What happens when the woman, the divine male and the divine female, the man and the woman come together sexually, you know, what happens when they pleasure each other and they reach a certain height that we call the orgasm? What happens spiritually between that
Okay,
union?
remember I was saying spirit energy and sex energy is twins.
Yes.
Spirit energy comes down from the crown to the root. Sex
Okay.
energy rises from the root to the crown.
Mm,
The crown is the medium of exchange where the two cross. Okay,
mm,
now in manifestation magic, the woman holds the image until she orgasms. The man's job is to get her there.
wow.
The man's
Woo!
job is to get her there.
I think I just
Okay,
got the
now.
Holy Ghost. I just think I got the Holy Ghost.
So look, if you remember Tupac's song, he said, "Release your waterfall up in heaven."
Mm,
The male orgasm comes from the root, but the female orgasm comes from the crown. This is why they keep saying that the men think with the little head because
okay.
his undeveloped root chakra holds the energy in the lower chakras.
Mm,
Right
mm,
now, if the sex energy is coming from root to crown,
mm,
then her job is to meet him eye to eye because this is going to activate the mirror cells in the prefrontal cortex. Right?
mm,
While they looking at each other, it's going to activate his pineal gland and it's going to balance the hemisync. So the two brains is now, they was just beating erratic like this. Now they on sync. If his brain is synced and then she's holding the image,
mm.
he make her orgasm. That's turning the remote control on your life. Whatever she was visualizing comes down in the orgasm through her spinal column and it's releases as an explosion of vaginal fluids.
Mm.
That's why Dr. Ben said heaven is between the legs of the black woman. You got to go through the same place you got here. If you want to get back to where you came from, you got to go where you came because you might find an alternate way, but it ain't guaranteed. It's
Mm,
guaranteed if you to get to heaven, you got to go back where you came from.
mm,
Right now, the transaction is a trade off. When his spiritual energy hit his crown, she now unlocks all of his creativity in the physical world. When her orgasm come down, he activates her magical energy in the physical world.
mm.
Together, you have creation and magic operating at the same time. Spirit and sex, right? It's a slow dance. It's a dragon dance. It's a Beauty and the Beast. It's the
And it
dance of
sounds
the masters.
this dance is so important in terms of manifestation, and yet I've heard these statistics and I've read them. I've studied about sex magic. Approximately 75% of women cannot orgasm from sex, and I've some statistics say 80, and only 15%. I mean, about 15% have never had an orgasm. Why is that?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They only engage in the vagina by itself. There's not
Mm,
a whole body interaction. There's not a spiritual connection. You're not gonna never have them. And a lot of times too, the woman don't know her body well enough to have an orgasm. That's why when you start studying women's sex magic, the yoni priests teach masturbation to train the woman how to release her fluids. Because if her
yes.
body has never been trained, she had to figure it out by having somebody on the other side as an instructor that's so skilled in the act that he can get her there. Well, ain't a whole bunch of niggas skilled. Everybody not a porn star. I tell it. And everybody not look. It was a movie used to come on when I was a teenager when cable first started getting big in the 80s, and it was called The Last Nude Musical. Right in the Last Nude Musical, they have in a court case a divorce. Right, the lady is a porn star, and her husband is saying that she can't never have an orgasm, and he had never satisfied her because she was a porn star. So her attorney went and found this guy they call the stunt dick. He is the guy that you put in the porn movie that has what they call semen retention capabilities and can have sex for a prolonged period of time. And in the courtroom, he had made her have her first orgasm. And so the dude ended up losing the case to one. So anyway, the understanding of semen retention. This is sexual energy ecstasy. Pull that book up. I
Okay.
always butcher his name. I think it's called like Montauk Chia or something.
Sexual energy ecstasy. Man, now I gotta remember how to spell this. Okay,
Hey,
ecstasy.
this is a real good class right here. This was a good one, Rod.
Oh man.
Dr. Kid, it's a good.
Yes, sir. We we cooking, family. Okay, here it is. Sexual Energy Ecstasy, a practical guide to love making secrets of the East and West. Ooh, let me see what his name is. Uh, is this it? No,
That's the one.
that's
That's
the
it.
one. Okay. David and Ellen Ramsdale. There might be another version. Okay. Sexual Energy Ecstasy. Okay, what's that about? Ooh, the joy of sex. Ooh, my. Okay.
hmm Now the author of this book actually have quite a few because he got some for men and some for women.
Hmm. Okay.
Right. And he's
Yes.
taught this one right here is talking about the male's ability to have semen retention
Mm,
and the effects it has on the physiology. He goes into a little bit of science, but it ain't too sciencey where a common reader won't be able to grasp the information. And he give you techniques to practice for semen retention,
mm-hmm.
right? And this is the what it's a book called Lord Chesterfield's Letters to His Son. Lord
Okay.
Chesterfield was a noble out of Europe who had an illegitimate son, but he was raising his son through letters,
Mm,
right? And he sent his son to a brothel for
mm-hmm.
sex education
Mm-hmm.
and left him in the custody of the madam. Why
Mm,
would he leave his son in the custody of the madam, right? Because
mm,
the madam is going to teach the son that how to control his emotional self when he's dealing with the sex with the women,
mm,
right? And in the book, Letters to His Son, he's going into why he sent him to get a sex education from a brothel and what that was all about in his royal upbringing. Because he didn't raise him to be a peasant,
oh,
right?
okay.
So this is like he gave a whole blueprint in here. And this is actually one of the books that I was using to write my rites of passage program. And I was using what he was teaching his son. Because if you can teach them to have a noble disposition, everywhere they go, they'll have people supporting everything they do. But if you teach your children to be dumb, ignorant assholes and you send them into the world, then you are ill equipping them for success. The book by Alexander Dumas, right? The Count of Monte Cristo is a
Mm,
blueprint in understanding that you don't have to be born with the royal blood, so to speak, if you have the noble character,
mm,
right? So that's what that book is all about. And so when you understand that what you're dealing with in the from the masculine and the feminine, then you start to open up prospects. Now,
Mm,
from the feminine side, you have Yoni Priestess of India, right? That teaches the women all about her body. This is
mm,
also what gave rise to the Kama Sutra. The
mm,
Kama Sutra is the illustrated Kama Sutra is a series of positions in order to try to help the woman attain orgasm. The the woman attaining orgasm was the highest accomplishment of the man. It was even more valued than his great conquest on the battlefield.
mm,
Right? This is the difference between what noble people teach and what peasantry teach. In the peasantry, the highest honor is to be a what they call a war hero, right? And if you want to see what it looked like, go to the series La Femme Nikita and watch the character named Michael Samuel. Yeah, Michael Samuel in the Femme Nikita is the what they want all of the boys to be in the beginning. The polished version after that, when they take them out of the war and they put him into real society, it's a soap opera character named Victor Newman. They want all of the boys by the time they get to be seasoned men to have the same charismatic suave as Victor Newman, right? That's why the character lasts. It's one of the longest lasting characters in soap opera history. Not only that, he was only supposed to have been on there for like one or two shows. He wasn't supposed to be a staple in the mainstay. But the character has such an impact on the understanding of the masculine from a real alpha male perspective, right? And so Victor Newman became the quintessential personification of a masculine man in the current society. Michael Samuel is the perfect developmental phase through his testosterone filled rage cycle. It's under control, but he seems emotionless, but he not. He just his still waters run deep. When you balance, you seem on the surface to be cold and unresponsive because you balance.
mm,
And a lot of people mistake a balanced person with being callous, cold, and uncaring. That's not what that is. But a balanced person can also understand all of the mechanics behind the interaction between the male and the female.
mm,
And if she don't understand everything he understands, he can be too much for her, and she'll abandon ship because she don't know what's going on.
mm,
Stoic philosophy is the blueprint for the development of the masculine. It's the European training manual for sharpening your masculine identity and solidifying it into a functional character in the society. Stoicism is the blueprint. It's another book for the men called Uberman, Almost Superhuman.
mm.
This was originally written in the German. That's why the title says Uberman. Uberman means Superman.
Yeah. Mm.
And the Uberman, Almost Superhuman, deals with the development of the masculine gender,
Wow.
right? And it's one of those philosophical works that had great impact. It's
Mm.
not it's not telling you what it's all about. It's just telling you it's a self-help book.
Oh,
But
okay.
it was yeah. So but it's telling you about the development of yourself as a man to appear to be almost superhuman,
Mm.
right? And it's so much material in the field, right? Um, it's another book that I want to point out, going back to developmental psychology of the boys. It's a Jewish lady wrote a book called Boys Will Be Boys. And it's
Mm.
about the war on the masculine gender and childhood.
Wow.
Now, once you understand what's taking place, now you know what you have to do as a man or a woman in order to resolve the problems. Nobody don't want to solve the problems. They want to live there.
Mm.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah. Friedrich Nietzsche is where the original Uberman doctrine came from. Because he talked about the real man and the plastic man. Is what he called the what we call today a bitch ass nigga is the plastic man.
Mm.
And that's why he came up.
Okay. Mm.
Right. He was one of the foremost philosophers, Friedrich Nietzsche. He got some good works too. Um, then the geisha.
Yes.
When you study the geisha learns all what they call the operation of the feminine wiles. The CIA sent honeypots agents to geisha communities to train in the seduction of men.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Right? All of the secret societies send women that they want to infiltrate top leadership positions. They send them to the geishas for training. The geisha character development and the understanding of seduction is so powerful that the gaze from a geisha make a regular dude lose his effing mind just by
Mm-hmm.
her looking at him a certain way. It's called the master of the gaze. Everything that she wear is scripted, from her makeup to her outfit to her perfume to her jewelry. It's all meticulously put together with the whole intent of being seductive. Originally, the geisha was not prostitutes. Originally, the science that came from the geisha was used to train royal women in how to tend to the men in the royal household
Mm.
sexually. It wasn't intended for them to be prostitutes in the brothel.
Okay.
But Western civilization pillaging the palaces forced them into prostitution for survival. They did the same thing over here, especially in Vegas and the West Coast.
Mm.
And this is a contributing factor to a lot of the bitterness of the women out west compared to the women in the east. The women
Mm.
out west, they used to having a particular type of guy. And if you ain't cut from that fabric, you're gonna have a hard time with a girl from Cali, from Arizona, from Washington, from Oregon. You can't just be no bitch ass nigga and think they're going they're not gonna facilitate that. Even if they deal with you for a minute, it's only till they can feed you to a real goon. And he might not even be having relationships with her, but she gonna set your ass up to get robbed or beat the fuck up or something because you acting in your broad energy. They don't like to see effeminate males out west. But then the European powers is pushed. That's why they pushed the homosexual agenda in Cali so hard, because of the hypermasculinity of the male. They could pass the homosexuality off under the false pretense of being a hypermasculine male. That's the ultimate conquest. Is a big goon to rape another man. That's weird to me. But it's what they brought to the culture that wasn't there before. We saw problems that like this. They saw problems. If you lose, they dominate you in order to take away your right to rule by rupturing your root chakra. That's what that's all about. So now you ain't just fighting for your life, you fighting for your manhood, your princehood, and your kinghood all at the same fight. And if you're aware of that, you can't lose. Most of us ain't aware of that. So the women out west is holding the dudes to the fire. If you don't stand up like a stand-up dude, they gonna feed you to the wolves. They got a pack of them everywhere. She gonna feed you to them, and you ain't gonna even know that she had anything to do with it. If you make it through the whole process, they don't like that. They don't like sissy men, soft men. In the street culture, they call them Macs. A Mac and a pimp ain't the same thing. The pimp is a legend. You heard about him, but you ain't never seen him. The Mac is a peacock. He out front. You can't miss that nigga walking around with all that loud ass colors on, flashy jewelry, big old loud car, honking his horn like Dukes of Hazzard before he get there. Right? That's the difference. So Macking, which is actually the science and the art of the tongue, speaking, using your ability to speak as a tool to seduce.
Gift the gab.
Some women love to be seduced. Yeah, some women love to be seduced by a dude talking sweet to them. And some of them always think he's slick because she done got tricked before. Or it's in her bloodline that somebody got tricked from something important. Now she sees somebody that she think he talking too fast or he talking too slick. She don't like him. Genetic memory. Red flag alert.
Somebody has a question for you, Chief, or a comment. They said, women don't want children today. This matriarchal idea doesn't apply in today's society, in this person's opinion. What do you say to that?
The matriarchal idea apply in all ages on
Okay.
earth.
Okay.
But the fact that the women don't want to have kids is not a knock to the matriarchy. It's a knock to the patriarchy. It's not that they don't want to have kids.
That's true.
They don't want to have either of these conditions.
That's true.
If the conditions change, they start popping. A man had 20 babies by one lady. She don't care. You know why? All of the baby's needs is met. All of the wife needs is met. The living quarters is sound. And the perimeter is protected. She'll pop them out like Pop-Tarts. But if that safety net is gone, women don't want to have baby. Look, you can have a pregnant dog in a hostile environment. That dog will hold them puppies past her due date until she thinks she's safe to deliver. The same with a cat, a monkey, an elephant, even a whale. Some whales will hold a baby in captivity until they burst out because they can't hold it no longer. And they normally hemorrhage to death. They don't tell us about that, right? Because they refuse to give birth in captivity. They don't feel like it's safe for their baby, even though they the best trained orcas in the water. They don't want to give birth there, right? It's the same with women. They don't want to have no. I don't want no babies under these current conditions, but I got them. But I didn't want no children. When I came home, I told my mom, I said, "This world effed up. I don't want no baby, bring no babies in this world for this misery." She know what she told me? Oh, you gonna have some more babies, and if you don't like the way the world is, you gonna go out there and change it. I said, Mama, how the hell I'm gonna change the world? I don't know. You gonna figure it out. How the hell am I gonna figure it out? What make me so different? Because that's your job. You smart. You'll figure it out. I ain't that smart. You smarter than you think. We going back and forth.
Mm.
But she made sure to tell me that you gonna have some more babies. If you don't like the way the world is, you know what to do about it.
That's
If
a
the
matriarch.
matriarch was
Mm-hmm.
if the matriarchy was properly in its place, which is basically the Longhouse, you pull up the Hadassah Longhouse Constitution. You can just type in Longhouse Constitution,
Okay.
and every woman need to read this because they don't understand that you already had the power.
Mm.
It was already there, it was just laying on the ground. Everybody kept walking over it, trying to use some secondary power. Can you go to images and pull up because it's also printed in book form.
Okay. Images. Okay, let me see.
This
Is that purple?
It's the purple one?
Yeah, I think that's the one right there. That with the symbol
I
on the
think
front right there.
yeah, because it got the
Mhm.
wampum belt on it.
Oh, okay.
This is the constitution of the matriarchal government that was here when Columbus came. This
What?
constitution has never been repealed. It's never been took out as operation. Tribal courts still use it. It's not they don't use the U.S. Constitution in tribal courts. They use either this one or one similar to this one as their foundational document. That's why they don't tell you that tribal courts is on the land.
Oh my goodness.
Look, go to Google and say, are there still continuous tribal courts operating in America?
Okay, wait a minute. I had to put that one in the
Are there
chat.
still, yep, are there still traditional tribal courts operating in America?
Traditional operating in America. Okay. Wow. Here we go. 1 second. Family, send the chief a nice donation to $SICK8, $ for Cash App, SIKAPE, or you can send him a donation to PayPal, SICK801, SIKAPE01. There are still here. Okay. Yes, traditional and customary tribal courts still operate in the United States alongside Western style and hybrid judicial systems.
I've
What?
been telling you, we ain't never went nowhere. They just hid our stuff from us by overshadowing us with their stuff.
Wow.
Right.
Mm.
Hey, everybody on my side, send Rod $25, man. Somebody send him a Honda. If you got it. 5, 10, whatever you got, man. This was a good class right here. Shout out everybody. And show Dr. Kia Pruitt some love too, man. We dropped that Cash App in there.
Thank you, family.
So
And remember to shout out to send something to the young elder. Cash App, THEYOUNGELDER family. We changing the world.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
this class was
So
well needed. It break down a lot of stuff that people was having mixed thoughts about. And I think
Mhm.
Rod did a good job at breaking down why the matriarch is gonna be what it is, you know what I'm saying? And why it was what it was before the colonizers came.
Yes,
and look,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
as a woman, Dr. Kia, watch this,
Mhm.
Elder. As a woman, if you got two situations,
Okay.
one of them you comfortable, you relax,
Mm.
you in front of a fireplace, listening to some smooth jazz.
I feel
In
good
the other
already.
scenario, in the other scenario, it's a bunch of noise in the background, people hollering and screaming. Um, outside the front door, you hear all type of gunshots, glass breaking. Which environment, as a woman, is going to make you more likely to want to engage in a relationship with a man?
A, definitely. At home when in front of the I'm leaving the second scenario. I'm leaving. Even if I got children and I want to hold on, I'm out of there. Deuces. Two fingers to the
Yeah.
wind.
See,
Mm-hmm.
this the
Right?
difference in what this is the difference in what we have to deal with in a lot of inner cities.
Mm,
So you wondering why the women don't want to have babies?
Mm-hmm.
Ask these mamas whose babies they just buried in the last 5 years.
ooh,
Mm-hmm.
Ask them why these women don't want to have. Don't ask no man.
that's
Ask the
right.
women that's suffering the losses of the children.
Ooh,
I ain't talking about they
Mm-hmm.
grown ass children. I'm talking about they sons that's getting shot at 11, 12, and 13 years old. Ask them
mm,
why women don't want to have babies right now. It's not that they don't
mm,
love men. It's not that
mm,
they don't love children. It's just that they hate losing babies more.
That's so true. Mm. That's
Right?
true.
It's a difference in walking through a rose garden and walking through a minefield.
Mm.
You ain't when you walking through a minefield, you ain't thinking about nothing affectionate. You thinking about survival. But when you walking through that rose bush, that rose garden, the scent of the roses, it smell good to you,
Mm.
right? The light, gentle breeze under the sunlight feel good on your face, touching your body,
Mm.
right? That's erotic. Then a motherfucker. The sight of the flowers in bloom and the beauty of the rose,
Mm.
that's enough to make a woman jump your bones. But if she got to walk through the minefield and you want to know why she don't want to have no baby, you got to be insane.
Mm.
That's normal human behavior to want to give birth in hostile conditions. That's abnormal human behavior. It's oppression. The side effect of oppression is it make the women start producing children before they're old enough to understand the condition they in. That's why
Ooh.
they have babies having babies.
Ooh.
It's a survival mechanism. The
Mm.
harder the oppression, the younger the children proliferate. People don't know women didn't used to hit puberty till they were damn near 20.
Mm.
But if you study the gymnasts, you'll understand why. Most gymnasts don't hit puberty until they quit gymnastics. Unless they get sexually active. It's the only thing that'll trigger it.
Mm.
But they won't hit puberty because they focused on something and the demand that it put on the body. It's almost like being at war. So the body won't go to puberty, right? It'll hold off puberty because the woman doing something that's preoccupying her from being in a position to take care of children. The highest frequency of divine feminine is called mother. And the highest frequency of divine masculine is called father.
Mm.
Right? And they tried to substitute the father energy for the mother energy in the God concept. And then they turned the mother into a feminine man that you can't see called a Holy Ghost. It was supposed to have been Usir, Offset, Heru. Right? And if it was a girl born first, it was Osir, Offset, and Het Heru.
Mm.
Het Heru is the first right to the throne anyway. She get the right over Heru. Heru can't do nothing but put his sister on the throne first. That's why they showed you Hela coming back at the beginning of Ragnarok to claim her throne, and it was Loki's job to put her there, not Thor's, because he's the usurper.
Mm.
Most of us don't know it, right? Like most of us don't know that all of the villains in Batman is Bruce Wayne alter ego, and that he's really not in the Wayne Mansion. He's really in Arkham Asylum, going through a multiple personality episode where he's fighting and retrieving the lost parts of himself. And that's why every time they catch one of his arch enemies, they tether him in the same place he had. That means he recovered a piece of his soul. But we don't look at Batman in a metaphysical lens. So we had never realized that when his parents died, he had a full-fledged nervous breakdown. And that's how he got to become the Batman.
Hey, everybody go on my side, make sure you subscribe to Dr. Kia Pruitt's page if you hadn't already. We got about 1,300 people on this side that I'm seeing. And we probably had way more than that on, but we got 1,300 on now. Everybody go make sure you subscribe to Dr. Kia Pruitt page. We got the link in the descriptions and follow on Instagram and TikTok. Make sure you follow Rod on his Instagram and Facebook. You got a TikTok, Rod? Oh yeah,
I
he got a
got one, but
TikTok.
I
Well,
don't
follow him on
broadcast. I
Instagram.
don't do nothing from TikTok.
Okay, yeah, because they always shout. They always trying to. Every time I post something, they block me for 7 days. Every time I post
Well,
something that we put out on TikTok, yeah, man, they real rough on TikTok.
a lot of
Uh,
people want to know, why I don't have my own? You don't do, Dr. Kid. Come on, come on.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, Chief.
A lot of people be asking me why I don't have my own YouTube channel
Mm-hmm.
and why I don't have my own TikTok channel. I'm only one person. I just move like a gang. I'm only one person. I have to know how to allocate my resources,
Yes.
right? I gotta master the ability to make the most amount of communication with the least amount of effort in order to be effective.
Mm.
I can't monitor email, my own Facebook page,
Mm-hmm.
and my Instagram, my Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok and YouTube. It's enough. It take me all day to deal with Facebook and Instagram, and I don't even like social media.
Lord, I do.
So that make it even harder. That every time I get on there, I'm doing something I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
my mama told me, ain't nobody told me that you got to like it. Just do your job. Who told you was gonna like it?
Mm-hmm.
And don't nobody like the hard part anyway. So somebody had to be willing to buckle down and do the hard part that don't nobody else want to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'll just buckle down and do the hard part. Eventually it'll get over with. It hurt her every step of the way. It's painful to see my people that's been deprived of all this stuff I know. And as I try to give it back to them after I done went in, had my brothers, sisters pay for it and myself, and I put my sweat equity in it and my attention that I paid for it all in there and to give it to the people for free. I don't charge for nothing.
You
I
don't.
accept donations, but I don't charge nobody for nothing. I don't do nothing for money. And the
Mm.
number one reason I don't do nothing for money, because my mama said, if you do anything for money, you will do everything for money.
Woo-wee.
Don't make money your God. Make money a resource and use it where you need it. But don't do nothing for money. So I don't do nothing for money. Because you ain't gonna never make me sell out if I don't do nothing for money. How am I gonna sell out now? If I'm gonna give it away free, how can I sell out? If you don't have enough money to pay me to stop giving it away for free, because I already paid for it. It's already paid for. I don't got nothing to do with it but have it in my head. What am I just gonna hold it in my head for? That's selfish. What Tupac say? Let's not be selfish. It's sometimes it's not our job to do everything. Sometimes it's our job to spark somebody else to do something. Remember he told Ed Gordon that? Let's not be selfish. It's easy to be selfish. I can understand constructive selfishness. That means being selfish enough to get yourself in the position to help the most people. That's constructive than the motherfucker. But how you gonna be selfish and you can't help nobody, not even yourself? That's
Isn't it?
misplaced selfishness.
Isn't it our? Excuse me. Isn't it our tribal way to support our chiefs and make sure they eat, make sure they have, make sure they have money, wealth. That's the way I was taught. But
Yeah.
tell me.
In the tribal custom, the preachers, or we call them priests, the shamans, they
Yes.
never solicited donations. The chiefs never solicited donations.
Mm.
The people recognize the value of the particular healer, chief, medicine man, shaman, right? Matriarch. And nobody came empty handed out of gratitude. This is what they're doing. It's the same with sex energy, it's the same things I'm about to explain.
Okay.
Love is the baseline connection,
Okay.
right? Gratitude broadens the bandwidth to allow more love to exchange,
Wow.
right? Reciprocity, giving back to the person that fed you, giving back cycles the energy,
Mm.
right? So now you have a broader bandwidth out of gratitude, being thankful. Because don't nobody owe your grown ass shit. And everybody owe the babies everything.
Mm.
Let's not get it twisted. When we talk about the matriarchy, we ain't even really talking about the women. We talking about protecting the children for 7
Ooh.
generations yet born. That's really what we're talking about at the root. We can't have a future if we tear it down as a baby. Where we gonna get a future from? If we tear all the babies down right now, where our future gonna come from? Who gonna build it? But now, if we allow the mothers to give the proper nurture to the child, and the fathers to give the proper stability and structure to the child, then the child grow up to be a perfectly functional human being with focus, dedication, and purpose in their life. They not lost, they not confused, and they lead with love, but they master the fucking throat punch. Because sometimes you're gonna need it, even in love. Love is violent. People don't want to hear that part. Because you want to see some violent love, mess with somebody that somebody else love in front of them and see what the fuck happened to your ass. Imagine Michael Jackson at a concert and some guy that just walk up and start trying to choke him out. What you think all them people gonna do if the security don't do nothing? The safest he could ever be is in front of a crowd. That go for Tupac, Biggie, all of them. The safest they ever was in front of a crowd. It wasn't until the crowd died down that they snuck 'em, because they knew that the collective's not going to let you do nothing to the chosen when they realize that the chosen is in danger. That's why they try to take them out behind us. That's why all them got these funny ass deaths. But it's the same reciprocity, right? Because that's what the encounter itself is, a reciprocal agreement between two consenting adults to exchange the energy, sacred energy exchange through sex, right? The sacred energy exchange is the cheat sheet for the manifestation of the perfect life. If you don't know what you want, then what you working for. If you don't know what you want, anything you get is good enough because that's all you want. But as soon as you know that you want to live your best life and you want the best for yourself and you want the best for the ones that's, under your care, in your, in your community, when you want the best for everybody, then you try to figure out, if I can just, like, for instance, all this knowledge I got, like, my dad used to say, "Boy, what you got all that knowledge in your head for? You ain't doing nothing." I said, "I'm gonna do something with it, Pops." He's like, I don't know. Mama told me I'll figure it out. I don't know when I'm gonna do something with all this knowledge. Every day I come in from work, he quizzing me off game shows he been watching all day. He got a list of questions to ask me based off the game shows. He said, "I'm gonna sign you up for Jeopardy." I said, "I don't want to be on TV, Pops. I ain't no celebrity." He just started laughing. He said, "You know too much shit to just sit here and let that shit go to waste." Then when I started really talking that talk in front of him, it scared the shit out of him.
Mhm.
He said, "Hold up, boy. You can't talk like that in here." But he was just testing me to see if I stand on what I stand on. I said, "I understand, Pops, it's your house. But hey, I just asked me a question. If she don't want the truth, I can't answer her. If she wants the truth, I got to tell her as best I know it." And then, the time go past, he called me back. He told me, he said, "Look, the reason I was acting like that, because every nigga I know with that kind of intelligence, the system killed their ass." I said, "I know, Pops. Remember all them times you told me I had all that knowledge, I need to do something with it? And I was telling you it ain't time yet." Because with knowledge is knowing. And wisdom is the application of what you know in order to affect the greatest change to benefit the most people. That's operating from Ein Sof, the realm of Sophia. Still a woman when you get there. So when they tell you that one wiser than Solomon came, you better believe that it was Sophia herself. She came straight from Ein Sof. And if she come from Ein Sof, and her name is Sophia, she personified as Aset. Aset is the throne, right? And the throne is preserved for the king to sit on in order for him to enjoy the fruits of her labor or the fruits of her womb, the sacred union. And if you don't know how to put the family back together, you got to start one step at a time. Talk to the family members you know you related to, but you ain't never had a conversation with them.
Mm.
That's called building bridges in the family, making new connections with bloodline people that you ain't never talked to. Don't accept any rumor about anybody you haven't talked to, because that means that you are a gossip hustler and not an investigator. You
Mm.
ain't trying to find the truth. You just want to hear the juice. You want to get the tea. You don't know the T is just a square for the hangman to get hanged. All you need is the right number of letters and he gonna fall. Snap his neck.
Mm.
Hangman's noose. So the sacred energy exchange, the sex magic, right? It's volumes and volumes of books on sex magic. Sex magic was one, they don't tell you the nefarious sex magic.
Mm.
They tell you the glorified sex magic. The nefarious stuff is in the Talmud and the Mishnah.
Mm.
I ain't finna go there because it's some wicked shit.
Yeah.
And then they got supplemental material behind that we ain't gonna never see with our naked eye.
Mm.
They not gonna never publish it, and they gonna pass it down in family lands as grimoires, the most gruesome of the sex magic. Because now they becoming loose harvesters,
Mhm.
right? And that's why in a religious book they put in there about the persecution of the saints, the ones without sin. That's the children. Ain't no grown folks without sin. We all did dirt. And the first one to say they didn't just did it because they lied. Ain't nobody squeaky clean. We didn't all did something that if the world found out about it, we would be ashamed that they knew.
Mm.
That's the barometer. That's the measuring stick.
Mm.
So the only ones without sin is the children, right? The sacred sex is about producing the best product of the loins, right? Elijah Muhammad said that the prayers of the woman is answered through the womb. So what you praying for while you pregnant? The old wise women and doulas in the South said that's marking your child. Be careful what you say when you're pregnant, girl, because you're gonna mark your child.
Mm.
Don't talk negative about people while you're pregnant. Be vigilant in your thoughts so you don't mark your child,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? This is old stuff. This ain't new stuff. This stuff been known for thousands of years and it's been verifiable proof. Heirs have certain birthmarks
Mm.
in certain cultures, right? And if they don't have the right birthmark, they ain't the heir. If it ain't in the right spot, it ain't the heir. It got to be the right birthmark in the right spot that's in the family line.
Mm.
In other cultures, it's not a birthmark. Is how long is your hair? That's a couple of tribes over here, by the way.
Mm.
How long is your hair? The lady with that long hair dragging the floor, she the empress. Or if she don't have what they call 7-8 ether, the one with the big afro,
Mm.
she the empress, right? The one with the blankets, they pass out the blankets. She's a blanket chief, matriarch. She
Mm.
pass out the blankets. That's the covering of the tribal protection. Then you have the ones that deal with the slippers, the chanclas. They call them chancla mamas because it's also it's the gift when her son bring home a prospective wife. She approve her by giving her a set of slippers at her house,
Wow.
right? If she don't never put her slippers out, her son can only date her for so long before he get rid of her, and he won't never know what happened. This is what they call Central American Hispanic culture, all the way down into the Samoan and Tongan Islands. If the
Mm.
mama of a chief, don't give that girl them slippers. She ain't the one.
Mm,
But
mm,
soon as she come over there, and when she walk in the door, his mama grabbing her by the hand, girl, put your slippers on, come on in this kitchen. She the one. They know the culture,
mm,
but it's been concealed from the public. But you could see it play out in I think it was one of them Fast and Furious with The Rock when they
mm.
went back to the Samoan Islands and he was out there fighting his cousin, and Big Mama came out there with that slipper. All them big ass 360-pound, 50-pound Samoans got in line real quick. Because if one of them would have been disrespectful, all of the rest of them would have whooped his ass together.
Mhm.
Whatever you do, don't disrespect Big Mama in front of these dudes because they're going to come for you. If you go back and watch it, I forgot which one it was, but it got The Rock in it. They go into the island that The Rock people from in order to get some mechanics to help them build on some engines.
Mm.
And when they get there, they got a old family feud between Rock and his cousin and the characters in the movie, right? And they get to fighting, tearing stuff up. They fighting like cats and dogs, right? They fighting like Hatfields and McCoys out there. Big Mama came out there with that slipper, and then she took him in the kitchen and fed him and gave him a lecture, and they was best buddies after that.
Fast and
Because we
Furious.
ain't supposed to do that at Big Mama house. That's neutral ground. No conflict at Big Mama house.
Mhm.
Then just culture. It hasn't changed. The matriarchy, it didn't go nowhere. We just ignored it.
Ooh. Mm. This is good. So, somebody asked, was Tyler Perry trying to remind everybody about Big Mama, of their Big
Yeah,
Mama, or was he being sarcastic?
it was a little bit of both.
Mm.
So, the reason why he developed the Medea character is because when he started off as writing plays, he had to bankroll them himself.
Mm.
And when he was a little boy, he used to imitate his Big Mama and his Medea. That's what they call her in his family. That's how he got the name Medea, because they call their Big Mama Medea. Some of them call her Ma, some of them call her Nana, right? Some of them call her Nini, right?
Mhm.
Some of them call her Mimi, some of them call her Mamie. But we all got different names for our Big Mamas depending on where we from. And when Tyler Perry used to imitate his Big Mama, you remember that Eddie Murphy? I think it was either Raw or Delirious. At the beginning, he do the skit where he come in the living room and then he tell the joke about the monkey pooping.
I didn't see that.
Anyway, that was how we used to entertain the family back in the day,
Mm.
right? We come in the living room and all the uncles and cousins and stuff sitting around. Remember, the TV is not even 150 years old. It might not even be 100 years old. But we know it's not 150 years old. So what was we doing for entertainment? We was in the living room.
Mm.
That culture carried into the 70s, going into the 80s before it started to dissipate,
Mm.
right? And whatever the family did, like our family, my father used to drink on Friday and Saturday and sing and talk loud, right? So we knew Friday come around, we wait till about 8 o'clock, possibly have a little oil in them, we could all get $1. Right? So you have different families have different practices in the family that's mirrors of other things. The names might be different, but the structure the same,
Mm.
you know. And that's the evolution of the culture. Even in the midst of this patriarchal domination of this usufruct agreement and this temporary government that's about to be X'd out, we still was still following our traditions in the community. They knew this. This is why they said COINTELPRO operatives to interfere with the reconstituting of the tribes and villainizing the term gang. Gang didn't used to be negative.
Mm.
Remember, the Little Rascals was called Our Gang.
That's right.
Remember the Bowery Boys? That was about gang. It was about a gang. Remember the West Side Story about the
Mhm.
Rocks, the Sharks and the Jets,
Mhm.
gang banging. About Maria. Maria is the Spanish for Mary. What the? They fighting over Mother Mary. Who the hell is that? Hail Mary, Mother of God. If she
Oh.
the mama, then what the hell that? If she is mama, what that make her?
Mm.
She got to be greater than God because she birthed him, right? Mary is her name, and all said is her title.
Ah.
In her
Mm.
land is called Ty Mary,
Mm.
right? And her daughter, Venus, represent the quintessential virgin, which is the perfectly divine feminine,
Mhm.
right? This is what we call the Oshun priests, those divine feminine juicy, the honeypots, the ones that every man want and only one man can have her.
Mhm.
And he's the envy of all men. When the sisterhood put together, she go find other ones just like her that only one man can have them. So they giving him power though. That it, everybody only stuck on the sexual aspect of the interaction.
Mm.
Remember earlier when we was talking about the Hindu gods having all of those wives, he wasn't married to all of them. That was his support system, his backing. Like Krishna, they say he had 8 prime wives and 14,000 other women. He wasn't sleeping with all them women.
Mm.
That's insane. But that's his congregation, so to speak, as they say in church. He had the congregation of the matriarchs. That's
Mm.
how he became a god.
That's how most of these
You don't,
pastors build their churches with the women.
if it ain't no church mother, that church don't flourish. It's
Mm-mm.
always a hole in the wall.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Soon as he
it's
bring
bored
in
as
a good,
hell. It's bored as hell.
yep. Soon as they got a church mother in there, the choir sing better,
Mm.
the preacher preach better, right? The offering plate fill up faster. You ain't got no church mother in there. That's a miserable ass church to be in, and it ain't gonna last long. And then when he started adding other church mothers, they call them the prayer warriors and the elder committee, he's consolidating power in your face from matriarch. But he
Mm.
telling you he getting his power from some man named Jesus. He ain't
Ooh.
telling you that Jesus is Isis and the power he's deriving is from her spirit that runs through the matriarchy. That's why they keep telling you behind every great man is a great woman. Because
And all of
she's the anchor for all of that love energy coming in to empower him to be his best self, his greatest personification.
and all that money that's in the church is coming from the women.
That's
All that
taking it
money.
from their husband.
That part. Yeah, that's true. The money,
Or
the
the state.
loyalty, the
Mhm.
reverence, it's all coming from the women.
Yeah. That's
Mm.
look, this is why pastors walk on eggshells
Oh.
around the mothers.
Huh.
He an asshole in the street. But as soon as you see him around them church mothers, he be putting on his best behavior, his fake ass smile, be giving you all of the courtesy, and all the time you looking at that look in his eye and say, "Why this double lying to me?" He
Ooh.
ain't trying to trick you. You ain't the one. He trying to trick the church mothers so they don't oust his ass. It's
Mm.
the consolidation of power.
Mm.
It's the battery pack in his back.
Mm.
All them women giving him that love is boosting his mitochondrial output for him to be able to put on them theatrical performances to the level where he's sweating and need his Reverend rag in the wintertime.
Mm. Come on. Come on. Thank you. On
Hey,
who's it?
Rod,
On the who is it?
I
Oh
got
no, on it. Thank you so much for the gift. He said, and that's going to you, young elder. Says y'all golden.
Hey, I think this right here is it's a classic. This is a classic right here. Hey, Ro, I got one last heavy duty question for you because I know some people thinking about this question. Now, do you think the man should pay all the bills? And then because a lot of women like they man pay all the bills, and then some women when they can't pay the bills, they kick up to the curb. Like, so what is your take on? I mean, should it be even? Should the man pay all the bills? Because that's how my granddaddy did it. My
First,
granddaddy, he went out and got the bacon. Go ahead.
first of all, in the proper family structure, the most competent person with money is the one who handles the money. The source of the money can come from the man or the woman. It don't matter. If we put the matriarchy back in order, there ain't gonna be no broke women, so they ain't gonna need no rich niggas. Now what y'all gonna do when your money can't get you past the door? What you gonna have? You ain't got no character.
Mm.
You ain't developed your character. You don't have no principles you stand on. You got no values that you hold. Because if she got already can take care of the babies with the money she got, then she definitely won't financially need you. You got to find another reason for her to need you. Western civilization took away your responsibility to protect and defend by making you have to go out and provide when she already had the provisions before they came.
Mm.
So now you pulling double duty and wonder why you tired all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
The women already rich. They just don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start trying to explain to them the process to unlock their wealth, a lot of them is not educated enough in the metaphysics and the quantum physics to even know what the hell you're talking about. Right? So this is the holy drama is the blueprint to ascend to the throne.
Mm.
And you got to know who each one of the characters in your life, there's mirrors of characters on them hieroglyphics. And the goal is they keep talking about the marriage of Tahuti and Isis. How the fuck you gonna marry your mama? That's the dumbest shit I ever heard. That's not what they talking about. The union of Tahuti and Isis is her giving the blessing to the son to ascend to the throne.
Mm.
As his mother, she becomes the queen mother on the 13th seat. And she appoints the one that she loved out of all of the potential consorts as his anchor. This is why you see two women behind Ramses, not one.
Mm.
One on his left and one on his right. The one his daddy picked and the one his mama picked. And they gonna try to hold him down and will go to war beside him. But they gonna fight the spiritual side while he fight the physical side. Most of us too dumb to even see that. That I need a God-fearing man. No, you don't. Any man that fear God fear women. And a man that fear women will hurt women. And why would a man fear a woman? Because he understands her power. And he feel it, and once he realized her power, he feel impotent next to it. He can't be no real man.
Mm.
But if he understand her power and embrace it, she gonna charge him up to make him twice as powerful as he ever been in his life. And then she gonna start adding power bases by telling her friends how he cut. And when she tell her friends about it, she gonna sync with their mitochondria. She gonna become the anchor, and now he gonna be even more powerful because they love how he loved their sister. All right, you on mute, Elder?
No. Somebody had called me on the other phone. My old lady called me on the other phone because she usually
Oh, I thought you
go
said
to
so.
break at 12. Yeah, she usually go to break at 12, so that's why she called me just now, and it cut me
Okay.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can wrap it up, gentlemen. This has been very powerful. I see our soul tribe. They love this conversation. This was powerful. Yeah.
But you know,
Any
one of the
Oh yeah,
things
Rob. Hey, I'm gonna
that
put
we
that email you sent me on that. I got some more points, so I'm gonna I'll probably have it out by Thursday. That broke down with the conclusion and the
mm,
intro. On that yeah, so I got that. I'm gonna have that out for you by Thursday.
okay. Hey, look, if
Yeah.
you pay attention, we this show was about um the sexual energy exchange between divine masculine and divine feminine.
Mm-hmm.
But we started from the psychological development of children all the way up
Mm-hmm.
Right.
into adulthood. Where
Yes.
are they attacking us at? What we can do about it, right? How to recognize it.
Mm.
See, people
Mm-hmm.
when they think about sex, they just want to stick it in to get the moving. That ain't how you got to do it. It got
Sticky
to be
move.
some foreplay to it. It got to be some foreplay. It got to be some proper preparation,
That's right.
preventing poor performance,
Yeah, lick
right?
it before you stick it.
So when you realize that the goal in the sacred energy exchange is for her to manifest with the sex energy based on the goodness in the both of your heart, the faster to manifest,
Mm.
right? So she hold the image, right? He get her there. When she released the climax, then the nature of the energy around them starts to turn the clock of destiny in their favor to produce their best life scenario as they seen it. The image, she got the image. He got to bring it down from the crown, right? This the same pathway that a developing fetus in the womb follows. And this
Mm.
is why the woman is God,
Mm.
because you can alter the 3D reality through orgasmic sex with a woman. And I don't care how much you have sex with a man and masturbate, it's not going to never happen. It got to be with the woman because all sorts of creative energy can pass through the woman. The only creative energy can pass through the man is what he can do with his hands and his pecker.
Mm.
But the source is coming through the woman because whatever he can do with his pecker, impregnating a woman, if she don't consent, he still can't keep the baby. She'll spontaneously abort him if you acting like a bitch ass nigga in the first trimester.
Oh well.
And you won't never know she was pregnant.
Mm.
The highest honor for a man, for a woman to do is give him a male child. Because every one of them started off female,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this, did you hit her heart center with your heart center in order to sync the energy to make you worthy in order for her to give you a son?
Mm.
Otherwise, you have to figure out how to love and protect women by having a bunch of girls. Because that's going to automatically send you into a different frequency than trying to have sons.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going to be stuck in guardian mode for the rest of your life. You can't get out of it. Just because your daughter get married and move off, she call you daddy, my husband ain't acting right, you over there in 5 minutes with your dog and your pistol.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't going to never get out of protection duties when you a father of a girl.
Mm.
When your son get grown and you realize he can take care of himself, you will aid and assist him, but you don't have to worry about guarding and protecting him.
Mm.
That's the difference. See, when you had the girls, that's lifetime guard duty,
Mm.
right? But when you had the sons, that you only got to guard them until they old enough to be a guardian next to you,
Mm.
and then they don't become your son; they'll become your number one ally after your wife.
Wow.
All your sons are your allies. The women is your wards. If you go watch John Wick, watch Ballerina. That's the one where they focus on protecting the ward. But if you remember, Common in one of John Wick was that John Wick about killing that lady, right? Because that was his ward. That was his responsibility. And he died. Even after she died, he never stopped following through with avenging his ward. That's masculine energy. Now, in the Ballerina, they teaching the girl in the same house that John Wick was raised in to be a protector. And they telling her through the whole thing, no matter what happened, protect your ward.
Mm.
And then they run her through her whole training. Then they run her through her testing. Then they cut her loose. And the ward is the responsibility of the protector, the guardian. So when a man have a girl, he's stuck in guardian mode her whole life. He could be 99 years old and she could be 75. If she picked that phone up and called her daddy, you better hope he don't come with that shotgun, especially his old ass. He got old now, he can't fight you. So now he gotta fill your ass up with these buckshots. Right? And that's if she don't have no brothers or no cousin boys that's gonna say, Papa, I got this.
Yeah.
Big Papa, don't worry about it. I'm going. You stay here with Big Mama. Because they got it like that. They didn't put in the work in the family to have the respect where none of the sons want to see Papa go out there with his old ass and get hurt. Because they feel like they wasn't doing their part. Right? The family is a collection of people doing different shit, all moving in the same direction. Back to Big Mama house. Because that's where the next gathering gonna be. That's where this fried chicken gonna be. That's where this corn gonna be. Right? That's where this dandelion jelly on these butter biscuits gonna be. Right? That's where this honeydew melon and this watermelon gonna be. We working our way back to Big Mama house. We gonna have a wang dang do all night long. If you don't think it's true, all you gotta do is check out Mississippi Delta Blue. Cause down in the South, they tell you what I'm talking about. Even if these city slickers don't got a chance, when they get out to that country, they gonna teach them how to use their hands. You gonna work these fields. But it don't just start with walk in the room and stick it in. That's not how it starts. It's a whole psychological development.
It is.
It's the interaction to master the chemistry exchange. Right? And once you understand what it is, the problem is that so many people don't even know who they are. So it's hard to teach them what they're capable of doing by following the rules and the laws of nature. Unlock your magic.
Ooh. That's beautiful. That was beautiful. Now with that, I think we can go on to sleep, y'all. What do y'all think?
He dropped the mic, walk off stage. He dropped the mic, walk off stage after them.
Yes, sir.
This right here was
It was very good. Make sure you family give Chief Rod Hayes a donation because he dropped a lot of jewels for us this evening. He
I'm
helped
telling you,
heal
boy.
us too. So we want to send him
Telling you.
a cash app to SIK8 $SIKAPE family. Make sure you send them something tonight. If you're gonna send them something, please put in the comment section, I got you. We want to see you. I got you. We want to take care of the chief. SIKAPE SIKAPE, or if you want to send a what is it? PayPal?
PayPal.
My guys in London, they use PayPal in London.
PayPal is SIK801.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm trying to find it on here.
It's coming across.
It's going across the screen.
Okay,
yeah, at the bottom. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right. And for those of you who desire to send the young elder, send him something because he helped co-host this, and you
ain't got to worry about sending me nothing. Just send it all to Chief, man. I'm
send
good.
Send it to Chief.
Send
That's right.
Send it all to Chief.
If you watching on my side, send it to the Chief. We want to take care of the Chief that's taking care of us.
Yeah.
I want to ask one last thing, gentlemen. For the women who have not found the sacred male or the divine male to help her reach the orgasm, or to mate with, what advice would you give her?
Boy,
at this particular point in time, Dr. Kia, the women should be focused on the women's healing group because it's going to force the men to get to that level by energy, not by physical force. The energy shift is going to make the men become more how they supposed to be and more, they focus will be, because they're at war right now. All of the men is at war because the women in disarray.
Yeah.
That's why we having all this teenage violence. The men are at war. They can't get out of the war energy until the women go back to the love energy. When the women go back to the love energy, it's just like you just fed him a big ass plate of soul food. Now he's sitting on the couch watching the football game in peace.
Mm. Mm.
But as long as the women is in disarray and unhealed, the men they still trying to figure out what are we not doing to protect the women subconsciously, because most of them consciously try to dismiss it by blaming the women, saying all women ain't shit.
Mhm.
But he ain't gay. He just don't want to have a relationship because he think all women ain't shit.
Mhm.
And that's because one or two of them probably burned him for being a bitch ass nigga when he was young. When he became a man, he couldn't tolerate going through that emotional heartbreak again. So now he try to compensate by having fleet of the moment relationships that don't last, so he don't never have to give his heart up again.
Wow.
He just acting like a little boy that got his little heart broke because she tore up his "Do you like me? Yes or no" letter. It's the same. It's the same thing. And it could have started with she tore up the "Do you like me? Yes or no" letter in second grade. That's probably where his heartbreak started at. That made him become a bitch ass nigga.
Mm.
Because now he's trying to figure out how not to have a functional relationship with a woman because he's scared if he had one and his heart get broke and he gonna be crying and then his homeboys gonna look at him some type of way for being a bitch ass nigga. And they
Mm.
gonna be right for looking at him that way. And that's why he don't want to even try.
Mm.
But when the women is healed, the men don't see the women the same no more.
That's right.
They're not looking at all women through the lens that you look at a 304. It's not the same no more,
Mm.
right? The touch is better. The
Mm.
smile is more engaging. The
Yeah.
glance is more seductive. The
Mm.
touch is more euphoric. Don't fuck around and get a hug. You ain't gonna want to let it go because you're gonna feel like you in heaven.
Mm.
Remember, when you was a baby, your most comforting place you could be is on some woman's breast. That shit didn't change. You just got too big for her to hold your ass while you lay on her breast. Now she got to lay down for you to lay your head on her breast because she
Mm.
can't pick your big ass up. And half these niggas mad about that.
Oh my
They
God.
want somebody to pick them up, put me on your hip, and let me suckle on that boob.
Mm.
Get your grown ass up, build a bed big enough for me to lay down and watch TV while you lay your head on these titties.
That's right.
That's if you want to lay your head on these titties. You too goddamn big for me to be walking around on my hip while you trying to lay on my titties. I got cooking to do, babies to raise. Get your grown ass in there in the room. When I get done feeding these babies, I'm gonna come let you lay on these breasts. And if anybody don't
That's
believe laying
exactly
your
it.
head on the breast is not a sedative, all you
Mm.
got to do is go sit in any church in America where we congregate, the black church or the white church. It don't even matter. And wait for that baby to start crying and watch that big titty lady they all pass the baby to. As
That's
soon as she get that baby, that unruly baby that cry all day, all the time, and she lay him on that titty, and she pat him on his back 3 times, and he, they took all the fight out of his crying ass. It don't even have to be a boy baby; it could be any baby, right? So it's just the comfort. That's
yeah.
why all of the mosques got a breast symbol as the top.
Mm.
It's the place of comfort.
Yeah.
Everybody gonna go to the titties.
Mm.
Everybody that's crying and disgruntled is going to the titties. I'm going to lay on my big mama breast. They even put it in their scripture, suckling from the breast.
Yeah.
It's in there. It's in the iconography of Heru suckling the breast.
Mm.
That's sustenance. That's soul food. That's the ultimate comfort for the masculine. It's to
Mm.
lay on them damn breasts for no reason at all, just for free. That's how you calibrate that connection.
Wow.
Oh, don't fuck around and be laying on her breast looking in the eyes. You finna
Mm.
get sprung. She got your ass now. She got you now. You laying your head on her teeth looking her in the eyes. See, that's when the original pair binding was supposed to take place. Now you're doing it as an adult with a woman.
Wow.
Because you've been neglected your whole life. Now you
Yeah.
finally made it back to these breasts and that eye contact. I mean, shit, it is what it is. The truth, a motherfucker.
They cracking up in the comments.
Oh yeah.
All you gotta do, tell me where I'm lying at though, because you know I lie to get you to laugh. So I ain't lying right now. I'm telling the truth. It just so happened that people were remembering and they were like, "Dang, I didn't even pay that no attention." That's
That's right.
They like, I'm about to go find
yeah.
me some breastises right now.
Look, I don't care how mad. I don't care how mad a dude get. I done seen this in the hood. Dude be ready to fight the whole block. Big old 6'8", 350-pound, built like Ronnie Cole. Everybody, all the dudes scared to run up on him, but they know they're gonna have to fight him because he won't back down. All of a sudden, here come this little 5'2" girl, put her hand right in the middle of his chest, and said, "Come on, baby, leave them niggas alone." He'd be like, "Y'all lucky my girl came. Y'all lucky." We done all seen it. Everybody done seen it. See how she control this big ass gorilla?
Yeah.
Nature,
Right.
nature.
Mm.
She say it's all right, and she tap him on his chest that certain way that she know he like, or rub his back. He don't want to fight no more. She just took all of the war out that nigga
Mm.
in a touch, in a whisper. All the war gone.
Mm.
Right? You got sisters that had stone cold killers, but soon as she come around, he turned into a whole kitten. And people don't even know what's taking place. That's nature. It got to be a balance. That masculine getting out of control. Send that feminine in there to balance it out.
Wow.
Right? And the feminine is an automatically stable energy to begin with. But it's been the instability of the feminine comes with the agitation of the emotions by depriving them of their birthright.
Mm.
Give them back their birthright, they won't be bitter. They won't be angry. And then the men gonna have to do something different though, because your money ain't gonna get you in the door.
That's true. That's true.
I once heard a song that said, "Love don't cost a thing."
Mm. That's true, Chief. All right. This was beautiful. Young Elder, you wanna take us out?
Yeah, we said peace and love throughout the balanced universe to all. We send divine energy to the rise of the matriarch. Hey, let the three chiefs walk, man. Free Dr. Malachi Z. York L. Free Larry Hoover. Free Jeff Ford to L. Rookie, y'all. We love you all. Wadu.
Why do?
I do.
Wadu.
I do.